Allah. I give honor to his noble, illustrious prophet, Prophet Noble Drew Ali. I give honor to all those who's doing the work and uplift and follow humanity. I give honor to all supreme grand sheiks of the Moorish Science Temple of America, across all borderlines, all grand bodies, all factions of the Moorish Science Temple of America. One temple, one prophet. That's the way I'm rolling. That's the way it is. And I give honor to everything pertaining to Moors. Period, point blank. My Moorish signs have no borderlines. Peace and love. Now let's roll. So what we talked about here is last week I was you know, we be on Facebook, you know how we do. You know, sometimes we trolling, you know, y'all be faking like y'all don't be trolling. I know y'all do. I do too sometimes. And I just be seeing what people talking about. And in seeing what people talking about, I come across things and I be like, whoa, some things I touch, some things I don't. So I noticed my good brother Ngozi, he always, at least once a week, goes in on his concept of more science as it relates to those that believe in some of the teachings as taught by Prophet Noble Drew Ali. And me seeing that put me to maybe we need to have a discussion about this. And one of the discussions I was thinking of having was one of the comments he made about the prophet's teachings need to be revised. And within that conversation, I seen my good brother, man, peace and love to my brother. And I know he got my back no matter how it goes down. My good brother Ishamel Bey, he chimed in. And so I said, that'll be a good conversation because I respect both of these brothers' scholarship. You know, this is not some beat down, drag out. This is to bring clarification up to where we stand on our journey in the race. Period, point blank. And we'll let the people decide with the scholarship. With that being said, you know, so I watched the thread. And as I watched the thread, I was like, that would be a good conversation. So I took it back to the brothers and Ali's men and asked them who would want to indulge in the conversation. And everybody wants to indulge in the conversation. You know what I mean? But we can't get everybody to indulge in the conversation because we don't have enough time on YouTube to indulge in this sort of conversation. And we got to condense it within an hour, half, or 2 hours. So I said, you know what? I invited two people, two of my brothers that I feel as though that, hey, if they have the time, not that they smarter or intelligent more than any brother in Ali's men or any Moors on the face of the planet. I just randomly just say, would you participate? Will you participate? And just because y'all might see Brother Sharif Bey, that's my road. That's my road. I'm gonna say it like we round way. That's my road, dog. But nah, I just put it out there. Would you like to? And my brother Cyrus Hill, would you like to? And that was it. It was not nothing strategic about it, because anybody would be willing to have this conversation. This is a conversation that needs to be had. And let me say why it needs to be had. Because in doing this conversation and having this from yesterday, even putting this advertisement out about conversation that we're gonna have. You know, I got some questions about, should we do this? Should we talk about these things in public? And if the brothers of peace and love, I respect your position on it. I said, brother, we're the builders of the light. We need to make the lives of those who really need it. We got it. Riding out with it. But we good. What about those that don't get it? What about those that hear that the prophet's teachings need to be revised and they think that it need to be revised? And what about those that don't think it need to be revised and they don't have a word? They don't have a say. Nobody can hear their opinion. So boom, here we go on Moorish World. We got two opposing opinions, so to say, and we're going to put this thing out here and we're going to see where it leads us. Period, point blank. We're going to see where it leads us and where it takes us. Let me now give my good brother Ngozi the calling number. He's moving about, and my brother brother Sharif, he's moving. He's on his way home. So I already gave my brother Ngozi the link, but now let me give him the calling number. And I don't want y'all to share this calling number because we got them old hoteppers, see. Them old hoteppers like to come up in there, call in, and cuss on the phone. You know how them hoteppers do. So we don't want them hoteppers calling in, cussing on our phone, because this is a building platform. This is not no foolish platform where them hoteppers can get mad because they can't decipher knowledge, and they get mad and start cussing and cussing people out. You know, that's what them old hoteppers and those brothers that really don't have no information, so they get angry and they cuss you out. I mean, I don't want to be cussed out all the time. I don't mind. Go ahead and do your thing. But you know, them hoteppers start cussing you out. We can't get the information out. We want to get the information out. So don't be passing this number around. If y'all get the number, y'all call in. Don't be passing this number around to them hoteppers. You know what I'm saying? Them hoteppers be kind of come up in and cuss people out. They did that a couple shows ago. So family, let's keep it with the family, because I changed the number 1,000,000 times if they're gonna call in and cuss out. Because the only reason people cuss each other out and get mad, call people each other dirty Moors and all of these old names, the only reason they do that is because they don't have no more fight left intellectually. That's what happened. When they run out of fight intellectually, they call names. The dirty Moor, you're no good mole, and all this old crazy stuff. We don't want that. We just want the information. With that, let's move right on. Let's move right along. Good brother, I see you, brother Cyrus. How you doing, my brother?
Islam, brother Talker Bey. Can you hear me, bro?
Brother, I hear you loud and clear. You sounded real good. You're looking better. Hey, and I'm a real man. I can tell my brothers they look good, because we Moors, we look good now.
Prophet said, look your best.
Absolutely.
Islam, if I can, brother Talker Bey, I want to rise and give praise to Allah, the great God of the universe, author, the creator, and the governor of the world, almighty, eternal, and incomprehensible. To him alone belong worship, adoration, thanksgiving, and praise. I give high honors to the last prophet in these days, Prophet Noble Drew Ali, the founder of the Moorish Science Temple of America, who said, come all ye Asiatics and learn the truth about your nationality and your birthrights. I extend high honors to the forerunner of the prophet, brother Marcus Mosiah Garvey, who said, up, up, you mighty race. You can accomplish what you will. I give honors to the leadership of the Moorish Science Temple of America, past and present. I want to extend special honors to our sister tonight, actually, to our sister Dana Marnici, for a couple of reasons. For one, I want to honor her for her, just for being who she is, but also for her extensive knowledge base that she has, and a very with a very impressive display of humility, because the sister remained open-minded. You know, she is impartial to Prophet Noble Drew Ali, the movement of the Moorish Science Temple of America, but she's able to humble herself down from that PhD. Praise Allah. I want to continue lastly and give honors. I usually don't, but I want to give tonight because the nature of this conversation and where it may go. I want to give honors to to certain Europeans. You know, not all Europeans are bad. When you read into history, you get into the history of United States, for example, in the Reconstruction period. You know, there are European activists that actually worked on behalf of Asiatics to get us, out of a bad state. So I'll give honors to Europeans like Judge Hugh Lennox Bond, both presidents, Grant and Lincoln. I give honors to Congressman Thaddeus Stevens. I give honors to the Ohio Congressman John Bingham. I give honors to Congressman James M. Hines. I give honors to Sister Octavia Oti. I give honors to Congressman Charles Hayes. I give honors to Governor Robert K. Scott. And I give honors to Judge Charles Stearns. And the list continues, but I just think that the Prophet said if we can get us to think, we can save ourselves. We need to be detail oriented in our scholarship, though. So thank you for that, Brother Talker Bey. Islam. I'm glad, and honors to Brother Talker Bey and Moorish World TV and this platform. Islam.
Islam, my brother. And brother, I can appreciate you doing what you do, brother. Like I told you before, last time you was on the platform a few nights ago, I can appreciate how you give your praise and honors, because sometimes we get so caught up in the motions that it becomes redundant and just ceremonial, and we're just we put no thought into it. It's just a routine. You know what I mean? I can respect that, my brother.
Praise Allah.
Appreciate it and respect it. With that, I got my brother right there with the new brother. How you keep getting these new things on your screen, Ishmael Bey? You getting all these little fancy things on your screen? Are you there, brother? I like that. Are you there, my brother?
Indeed. Peace and blessings, brother. Can you hear me?
I can hear you, my brother. I got Ngozi on the phone. Brother Sharif will be coming in a minute, but let the people know who you are, because you know, and there's nobody's really familiar with you. Nobody know who you are. Maybe you need to tell them who you are and where you're from. You know,
Yes, sir.
you ain't,
Humbly so, bro. Humbly so, bro.
you're a young cat. I just
Yes,
said,
sir. Yeah.
how you doing, my brother?
I'm doing well, great king. I'm doing well. I want to thank you again. I want to thank you with Moorish World TV. I want to thank you, Brother Taharka Bey. I also want to thank Brother Sharif Bey, Brother Cyrus, Brother Amir Kamara, and your listening audience for having us come on this evening and have a good and a lively discussion. For you to take the time, I'm always greatly humbled, and I appreciate you taking the time to open up your heart and open up your minds to even indulge in this type of a conversation. So thank you, brother. I'm doing well. I'm doing strong, really focused, and coming along really, really good, bro.
Yeah, brother. And I can appreciate, as I said, I can appreciate all sorts of scholarship, and all sorts of scholarship don't have to agree with me. I can still appreciate it. That's just the type of person I am. You know what I mean? I don't get bent out of shape, and so I just want you to know, and I think our brother Ngozi would know by now, and if he watched the channel, sometimes I get worked up, but I'm not worked up as in my passion. I'm just passionate. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. Absolutely. You're very, very spirited, and that's just the warrior spirit in you. Never change it, never alter it, never harness it, and that's what we love about you, brother. That's it's all good.
So I just want people to know that, and I want y'all to know in the chat, if this is your first time viewing Moorish World TV, listen, this is just who I am. I'm passionate, but I'm not in my passions. You know, so as the conversation go, I may cut a brother off in there. Y'all need to check me, and my brothers will check me if I go too far. I don't mind being checked. That's what family do. So let's get this rolling and get this moving. Brother Ngozi, are you on the phone, my brother?
Brother, peace and love to the family, man. Could you hear me?
Let me make sure everybody can hear you. Can y'all hear in the chat? Can y'all hear brother Sabazil?
Islam, I can hear the brother.
Okay, we're good, brother. Introduce yourself and let the people know who you are, because I don't think nobody know you either. I just met you yesterday. No, I'm just playing, bro.
Peace and love to the family. Thank you, Brother Geographic Bey, and the whole brother, all the brothers on the panel, and my big brother Ish. Peace and love to all y'all, man. This will be a great dialogue. My history is from, I used to be a member of the Amara Squad. Brother Ish and Brother Hump was the founders of the Amara Squad. I went to different zones and different schools of thought. I was part of Moorish Temple number 9 on Horn, Augusta, Chicago, Illinois. I'm from Chicago, Illinois. And, this thing right here, the Moorish regime is what I once had years ago with my brother Consul, if you remember me, when I was almost 18. So this Moorish demonstration is very important. I also have ancestry from certain parts of the continent in the sense of my mother's side, which is second generational continental Africans from the Algiers and Fula region compared to my father, Al-Assembly. So we can get into that and explain what's going on and why I think that this would be a great discussion on Moorish science demonstration. And peace and love to you, Brother Harker. You're doing big things, man. And I know you're fire, man. I know you're fire. So I don't take it personal at all, bro. At all. I know you're fire.
Thank you, my brother. And I can say I really appreciate you, my brother. I appreciate your scholarship. I appreciate all that you bring to the table, and I definitely can appreciate the fact that you can understand that I'm just a passionate brother, and I don't mean no harm. I'm still trying to learn to love instead of hate. I'm working on it. I'm working. So now let's roll with it. Brother Sharif is trying to get in. So first, let's set the parameters of what we're talking about. What we're talking about, family, is do the Prophet Noble Drew Ali's teachings need to be revised, updated for 2017? Now, with that, we'll start with we're just going to ask the question first, and then we're going to expound on what part. Brother Ngozi. So first of all, do you, and we already know the answer, do you think that the Prophet Noble Drew Ali's teachings, in whole or in part, need to be updated? Let me get me a pen so I can keep it flowing.
Yeah, I think that what Honorable Noble Drew Ali or Prophet Noble Drew Ali gave to us at that time was important. I mean, this is right after slavery. A lot of people didn't know how to read. They didn't have, they wasn't literate. They was, when it comes to understanding and reading, they wasn't that comprehensive at that time. A lot of them were illiterate at that time. Not Prophet Noble Drew Ali, but I'm just saying the people. We just got out of slavery, so at that time, it was important for us to have some sense of identity for ourselves, to know something about Africa, you know, something. I think that he was a stepping stone of our evolution. He is the foundation. If it wasn't for Noble Drew Ali, we would not have Islam in the United States of America. So he brought that system back to us, as the Moorish people say, that old time religion. I do believe, yes, he had his role, but a lot of the stuff that was presented in the 101, the 102s, the Circle 7 Quran, it's not really just the Circle 7, but a lot of the stuff in the simplified description of where we come from, and the age of the flag and certain things needs to be corrected.
Okay, that's good. Okay, where we come from, I just want to get this, where we come from, age of the flag. And then, I mean, I'm pretty sure Ish got something to bring to the table too, that need to be updated too. Age of the flag. Okay, carry on, my brother.
You know, it's just, you know, the age of the flag and where we come from and the time. And see, Noble Drew Ali, he knew about a black migration that did happen in Africa, but the people that he was talking about wasn't really people that we descend from. Yet and still, he did talk about Northwest and Southwest Maxine. I mean, he talked about Niger or the people in those areas. He talked about it, but the people that he talked about, like in the sense of, we know some more to say the olive seed or the olive complexion, the olive can be dark or whatever. That's true. But when he talked about olive complexion, that specific complexion, and he talked about Canaanites coming back into Africa, we have to know the time period of back migration. And a lot of that stuff is talking about North Africa, time period. They had people from the Levant bringing farming back into North Africa as early as 10,000 years ago. And a lot of us, where we descend from, were already living in Southwest and Central Africa. The earliest time period we made it to Akiri, Nigeria, as early as 10,000 years. A lot of the Proto-Mendi population who came from the Niger area before going into Mali in different parts came with, and in that area you find poverty there as early as 12,000 years. Then you find the Bafar population. But a lot of the people that we descend from with the specific marker, E1B1A, or the Y chromosome, which is the sex chromosome that makes you male, which shows your male lineage, it came out of the Horn of Africa. And our specific Y chromosome, you know, it rose around 30,000 years ago. And from this EV3A marker, you have, you know, the descendants, which is EM2 and EM329, which is the E1B1C branch and the E1B1A branch, but the M2 subclade, which arose a little bit later. So a lot of them from cattle herders or Cushitic pastoralist populations migrated through the Sahel belt from a zone called Kordofan in Sudan, Nubia, Upper Egypt, which is east, through Kordofan, Sudan, and migrated towards those populations, and I mean those areas. And before we start doing that, you already had people who came from the earliest migratory routes, because this population came in around the Neolithic period, Neolithic time period. You already had early humans living in those rainforests who were crossbreeding with early archaic populations of humans, like the Mbuti pygmies, before we intermingled with them. So a lot of us did not come from that.
Okay. Hey, brother, before you go too far,
let's slow it up. Let's slow it up a little bit.
Before you go too far, when you begin, and I'm gonna pass it around real quick, but I want to say, when you begin to talk this language of the E1B1 and all of this language right there, I think you're gonna have to define what you're talking about, because our people get caught up in this fancy language, and this fancy language is not saying a whole bunch. I've done some research, and I've discovered that this is a European method in defining the traces of humanity. And so again, we are doubting our own people and returning to the European for answers. That is not an Asiatic science, brother. So that E1B1, please explain further how that is a science, because I have some information that says that is not a pure science, brother.
Brother Tahaka Bey, before we go in depth with that.
Okay, one moment. Let me let my brother Cyrus Hill come in, and then you can come back.
Yeah. I appreciate that, brother. because the question that you asked in terms of whether we should upgrade the teachings of Prophet Noble Drew Ali, I also would ask those that ask that question, if we need to upgrade or do we need to catch up to what the Prophet basically asked us to do. And I have a list of those things. But I want to first, before, because I want to unpack this carefully. Again, my name is Cyrus Hill. I'm a Sheikh and a Divine Minister in the Moorish Science Temple of America. And I'm basically here to try to qualify some of the logic, you know what I mean, and keep it grounded as per what Prophet Noble Drew Ali had brought. Because a lot of times the logic can be very confusing. I want to first start with a disclaimer and start actually with giving honors to the Arm and Ra squad of and their scholarship. But at the same time, I want to disclaimer that with this a thought that we share in our temple in terms of the 360 degrees of information that's available inside of the Moorish Science Temple of America. It's a very massive, there's a massive amount of study that needs to be done and what we need to do in all of the different areas in terms of, just touching on some of them: history, science, math, law, linguistics, anthropology, archaeology, astrology, philosophy, arts, culture, religion, so on and so forth. But one of the things that we need to be careful of, this drills it back to just pure logic, is the difference between facts and knowledge and information and wisdom and understanding. Because Prophet Noble Drew Ali told us in the taught us in the temple that and it's in the Circle 7 Quran, the clearest human knowledge is but blindness and folly. You know what I mean? And that speaks to when you get into the science of even like metaphysics. When you get into the illusions of what actually is and what's not, what is matter? What does vibration have to do with the, is the universe made up of thought? You know what I mean? There's an illusion is at play. What's more real, a dream or realities? And I like to keep my feet grounded, but you have to, even speaking in scientific terms, you have to keep in consideration of certain things. Everything is not rock solid in terms of again, facts, knowledge, and understanding. So I wanted to throw that out just as a startup, as I begin to, I have a lot of questions that I like to ask, and I have a lot of considerations that I like to make. So I wanted to throw that out first. But I personally think that we have to catch up to what the Prophet brought. He taught us that a law man of one. He gave us a flag. But do we recognize what that flag is at this particular point in time as a whole? He brought us our nationality. Have we made use of it? He told us to take our place in society, in the affairs of man, in government. Have we done that? Have we been able to actually do that? Or are we going to bypass it and say we need to upgrade, but we haven't done that yet? He told us in unity there's strength, and he warned us that we had to refine our character. And I personally think that we haven't done those things yet. So to move on and say, how do you upgrade those things when you haven't done them yet? To me, it's kind of a cop-out. So, I wanted to throw that in first before we get into the details before we start unpacking all the science and the facts of DNA. Let's slow it down and deal with the logic first.
All right, I need to address something right quick, if I may.
Absolutely. Come on, Ishmael. You too, brother.
First of all, I've been dealing with my brother Amir Kamara Bey for well over half a decade, 7 years strong. He has not even started yet. So if you thought that he was getting deep, you haven't even scratched the surface of his knowledge, his wisdom, nor his understanding. That's number one. Number two is this. If you took 10,000, 20,000, 50,000 people, and there was only one culprit who was the father of a child, you can take DNA and you can identify who that father would be out of 50,000 people, out of 100,000 people, out of 300,000 people. One person would be identified as you are the father with 100% accuracy. DNA is an exact science, okay? If you were being charged in prison and you had to get off on those charges, DNA is something which can find you innocent out of 10 million people, out of 6 million people in New York City. You can say emphatically, yes, this person is not the culprit, and emphatically, yes, this person is the culprit. So you can't cherry pick when you want to use the DNA or if it does not coincide with what your philosophy is in your organization. No, that is not how we operate. We deal with truth here. And in truth, DNA is an exact science. Now, if you don't understand what he's saying, that's one thing. I'll be happy to put it in a novice term to where it's palatable and tasteful and that you can understand it in a much better way, because he does go very deep. But he has not even started to get deep yet. So I can make sure that we can explain it to you a little bit easier. But DNA is an exact science, and it will not be just wiped under the rug. You may continue.
I got you, my brother. I got you. Hold up. I'm gonna bring it back to you, brother Ngozi. Well, the same amount of people that says that it's an exact science, there's an equal amount that can prove that it's not an exact science. I'm reading from, this is from the DNA Science magazine, and these are, it's a group of researchers that research the practicality of DNA and the myth, and they try to be the mythbusters of DNA science, I guess. And they talk about direct DNA with the swabs to fathers and sons. Yeah, that can be more trusted than DNA tracing back ancient history. Real quick, I just want to read something. Matter of fact, let me screen share it real quick. I can screen share it right quick. Matter of fact, let me let my brother Ngozi go in first, and then we'll get back to that. Brother Ngozi, go ahead, my brother.
Okay. Well, the thing is about what people like 60 Minutes and some Mythbusters is trying to get into is that it's hard for people to talk about and understand autosomal DNA collectively overall. But when it comes to paternal haplogroups and mitochondrial DNA, which is your maternal haplogroups, that's right and exact. If it wasn't for your Y chromosome, brother, you wouldn't be a man. Your Y chromosome is what made you a male. All diploid organisms or complex organisms have sex chromosomes, which is haplogroups. And every one of our haplogroups tells a story. It has an origin. It has a place where it developed or arose. So the only issue that some geneticists are having with some DNA companies, like you had a backlash about 23andMe, is the time period when markers arose, or the autosomal DNA, in the sense of, because autosomal DNA, well, they got better detail on autosomal DNA, but haplogroups cannot determine your ethnicity, because you can be a British man, but your Y chromosome can go back to East Africa. Now remember, that Y chromosome is what makes you a man. So that means that somewhere down the line, 3,000 or 4,000 years ago, some European man descent from a black African who probably, I'm just using this as an example, who was a man, because your sex chromosome tells the origin of where your paternal lineage or your paternal lineage comes from. It had to go through its own unique single nucleotide polymorphism. Poly means multiple, morphism means the mutations. And through short channel repeats through time, these SNPs arose into specific haplogroups of sex chromosomes. So what I'm saying is that, let's say an East African man migrated into Europe 6,000 to 8,000 years ago, and he started having sex with multiple European women, generation after generation. As long as that Y chromosome is going through women producing boys, that sex chromosome has never changed. For a subclade mutation to change, it takes 6,000 years. For a subclade mutation, 4,000 to 6,000. So you can have point percentages at the end of specific sex chromosome. For a whole haplogroup to change, it takes 10 to 20,000. For you to have a whole nother polymorphism to go through a change. So if it wasn't for your haplogroup, brother, you would not be a male. Your Y chromosome is what makes you a male. And not just that, it has a story and an origin of where it comes from. So you're going to have people that go back and forth about the time periods of these haplogroups and the debate about could haplogroups determine your ethnicity. Because you can have a British man who has a Y chromosome and go back to Africa, but autosomally speaking, he could be 80 to 70% European. You got to go all the way back in time through his genome, all through the fourth nucleotide of DNA, AGDCT, adenine, guanine, cytosine, and thymine. Measure those numbers and put it through the measurement to the molecular clock and read those numbers to see what the specific mark is and measure all of the autosomal DNA accumulatively to determine the ethnicity of the human being. So that's the backlash that some mythbusters is trying to talk about when it comes to DNA. Because a lot of people.
So what we'll do?
No, hold up. It's let him finish, bro.
Okay.
That's pretty much it, brother. I mean, you can go ahead and read,
Oh no, you good, my brother. You good, my brother. Brother Sharif Bey just came in, brother. Who that, brother Sharif? Are you in, my brother? It's Love Sharif. I see his picture, but he ain't coming in right this second, so he might have a little problem.
Can I add something, Brother Talker Bey?
Come on, my brother. Come on.
Islam, and this is just ramping up again. Like I said, I'm big on logic. You know, I'm trying to connect because the conversation is about whether, you know, what needs to be upgraded on the Moorish Science Temple of America. And we're talking about Prophet Noble Drew Ali, and we're getting into the science of DNA. I want to try to draw the connection so we could, you know, so we can kind of keep everything, you know, so everyone can follow. So, one of the things I like to, at this point, I wanted to touch on, I wanted to speak to, what my central focus is. I'm a big advocate on the ground of unity. You know what I mean? And the things that we need to accomplish that I can see on the ground. We were talking the last few days about political, engagement, political power, and financial strength, which is what the Prophet Noble Drew Ali was pointing us to do in terms of unity. So I'm going to superimpose unity on top of this conversation before we get into it, just as I start my process of following, trying to connect the dots to what the brothers are saying. And because unity, when you speak about something like unity, if there's an argument, I don't know if there's an argument about the dire need for it. When you speak about unity, you have to just talk about a focus point, an orientation point, if you will, that we can all center around, that we can all agree upon. Because we can sit here and spit degrees and information all day and it ain't doing nothing for us, because you got to convince, you would have to convince a wise man on why would we unify around a specific set of information, knowledge, or philosophy, or whatever case it may be. So if unity needs an orientation point, what is the orientation point? And with that, if I can, again, just to preface this, if I can go, I'm going to read a chapter that speaks to what we're talking about here, and it's in the Circle 7 Quran, chapter 45 of the Circle 7 Quran, which is entitled "The Divine Origin of the Asiatic Nations," and it speaks to this conversation about genealogy and origin and where we come from, because this is what the Prophet brought. So I'm gonna read two chapters onto the record, real quick one. This chapter starts off. It says, "The fallen sons and daughters of the Asiatic nation of North America need to learn to love instead of hate, and to know of their higher self and lower self. This is the uniting of the Quran of Mecca for the teaching and instructing of all Moorish Americans, etc. The key of civilization was and is in the hands of the Asiatic nations, the Moorish, who were the ancient Moabites and the founders of the holy city of Mecca, the Egyptians, who were the Hammatites and the direct descendant of Mizraim, the Arabians, the seed of Hagar, Japanese and Chinese, the Hindus of India, the descendants of the ancient Canaanites, Hittites, and Moabites from the land of Canaan, the Asiatic nations and countries in North, South, and Central America, the Moorish Americans and Mexicans in North America, Brazilians, Argentinians, and Chileans in South America, Colombians, Nicaraguans, and the natives of San Salvador in Central America, etc. All of these are Muslims. The Turks are the true descendants of Hagar, who are the chief protectors of the Islamic creed of Mecca, beginning from Muhammad I, the founder of the uniting of Islam by the command of the universal God Allah." And then if I could read into this record a few verses from chapter 47, which also I know we're going to run across, so we need to have this on record. Then this chapter is entitled "Egypt, the capital empire of the Dominion of Africa." And it reads, "The inhabitants of Africa are the descendants of the ancient Canaanites from the land of Canaan.
All right.
Old man Cush and his family are the first inhabitants of Africa who came from the land of Canaan. His father Ham and his family was second. Then came the word Ethiopia, which means the demarcation line of the dominion of Amexem, the first true and divine name of Africa, the dividing of the land between the father and the son. The dominion of Cush, northeast and southeast Africa, and northwest and southwest Africa, was his father's dominion of Africa. In later years, many of their brethren from Asia and the Holy Lands joined them." So I'm going to leave that actually right there. For the rest of the chapter, people can reference directly from. And actually, there's one other piece that actually speaks to this particular conversation. And this is from the bottom of page 3 of the Circle 7 Quran. It actually says, "The industrious acts of the Muslims of Northwest and Southwest Africa. These are the Moabites, Hammatites, and Canaanites, who were driven out of the land of Canaan by Joshua and received permission from the pharaohs of Egypt to settle in that portion of Egypt. In later years, they formed themselves kingdoms. These kingdoms are this day Morocco, Algiers, Tunis, Tripoli, etc." So with that, I want to just speak to the connection that's already there. It's already it's already made clear between Moors and Egyptians and Hebrews.
And brother Cyrus, if I will, the reason why I wanted to touch on the DNA demonstration is because as I follow a lot of posts, we're using a European science to define, and I don't mind a European science. I really don't, as long as it's right and exact. But there is too much discrepancies concerning this DNA science. I mean, as it relates to a historical account, there's too much discrepancy. If anybody has seen the 60 Minutes interview where the sister, she got a DNA and she was so happy that she was from this part of Africa after the DNA test. She went to another company. They said she was from this other part of the continent. She went to another country.
Of course.
They put her in Ireland. So what I'm saying is, we can talk this stuff all we want, but first let's define the parameters of what we're talking about. If you're going to say that it is a science, you're going to have to first show me that it is a science, because I can show you how somebody in real time took the swab, took the blood, took everything, and 5 different companies showed that she was from 5 different places.
Got an answer for that.
Come on, my brother.
I like to address that right quick.
Let me let my brother Sharif Bey come in first, because he haven't even introduced himself and give his praise and honor. Come on, brother Sharif.
Islam, brother man.
Islam, my brother. Are you back there eating again?
Yeah, you know it, bro. I gotta get it. I gotta get it whenever I can get it, bro. I just put the grands to sleep.
Well,
you know what I'm saying? The wife got me something to eat, so I'm munching and giving praise. So I want to first,
my brother. Come on in, my brother.
Praise to Allah and honor His prophet, no prophet, no majority, last prophet these days and times. For uplifting and fallen humanity, uplifting first and foremost the fallen sons and daughters of the Asiatic nation in North America, sometimes referred to as the lost found in the wilderness of North America. I want to give honors to the Moorish Science Temple of America, honors to my brothers of the past and present leadership of the Moorish Science Temple of America. I want to give honors to my brothers and comrades and Ali's men, honors to Moorish World TV, honors to Brother Talker Bay, aka Off the Turnbuckle Bay. I want to give honors to my brother I love dearly, Brother Ishamel Bey, founder of Amin Ra Squad. I want to give honors to my other brother from the Shy, from Moorish Mecca, the brother Ngozi. Peace to both of you all brothers, man. I wanted to hear, because I came in right on the tail end of you, Brother Talker Bay, and I wanted to hear what Brother Ishmael was going to say regarding, addressing the whole thing about DNA. So I'll yield the floor.
Sure. Come on, Brother Ish.
Well, certainly. No, first of all, I need some clarity on why do you keep referring to the term the white man science, brother?
No.
That's a misnomer.
I didn't say that. I say it's actually a European science, and I said that as much as we use this to confirm what we say is fact, I can get the same amount of people to discount it.
Okay, so let's just clarify this. Let's clarify this right quick. On your show, we had Dr. Rick Kittles,
absolutely,
one of the directors of the Arizona Science Department, on your show.
Absolutely.
Dr. Rick Kittles has his own company, AfricanAncestry.com, his own laboratories. Dr. Rick Kittles is world renowned on every level dealing with genetics, from every single level. He is an African.
Okay.
We have to understand that science itself is an African concept. So when you use the term European science, what are you saying?
Okay, I'm going to show you.
The European universities were taught civilizations from Moors. If you go to Cordova, if you go to the various cities throughout Moorish and Morocco rule, these are African and Islamic schools. So when you're saying that these are European sciences, who taught these Europeans? Africans taught these Europeans. So you are cherry picking when you make this definition, this term, European science. You're ignoring the fact that it's Africans doing it now, and it's Africans that did it before the European even got it. Please explain.
Well, the foundation of molecular DNA, as we know it, is founded by European principle. They control the narrative. I will share something with you real quick. They control the narrative as to what they choose for us to believe. Here we go. Hold up.
I would be concerned too.
Here we go.
But what about your own company?
We have
He
the
didn't
largest,
exclude you. He included you.
but we have the largest set of sequences from Africa. And so with that, we're able to provide some level of probability in terms of frequency.
But he would say that even though you have the largest database, it's still small on the scope of things.
As I said, I share those concerns
About yourself.
about DNA.
And that's the rub. This business of genetic genealogy is fraught with limitations. For one thing, it can only provide information about a tiny fraction of our ancestry. Because we get half our DNA.
Now I'm gonna stop right there. I'm gonna stop it right there so we can move on with the show. Now, I had to bring that up because the brother brought up Dr. Rick Kittles, and Dr. Rick Kittles, he agreed that there is a lot of work to be done to make it to be an exact science. He agreed there himself.
Let me explain to you what he said. What he said was that the database that I'm using is a larger African database than what she went to. So if you want to know about the African database, you come to me.
No. I can play the whole thing.
Play it again then. Please play it again. He said that I have the larger database.
Brother, I've just played a snippet. Remember, I just played a snippet. But she said, but in that snippet, I'm gonna let you go, brother, and Ngozi. In that snippet, I was only addressing the fact that she stated that even with the largest database, it's basically a drop in a bucket. And when you're talking about trying to identify somebody,
you do know that you're proving my point, correct?
You know what I mean? You can't identify nobody with it. That's my point. But let Ngozi talk. Come on, Ngozi.
Let me just say this like tomorrow. 60 Minutes tried to, and we talked about that in the show. 60 Minutes tried to catch Dr. Rick Kittles up. Let's talk about what they did. They said that small piece of DNA that they're talking about that goes unchanged is the haplogroup, the sex chromosome. You know, you got 4.
Brother, you got to speak English, brother, about haplogroups. Tell the people what you're talking about, my brother. I'm not being facetious or nothing. We got regular people in here. They try the haplogroup, the E1B1. Brother, speaking a language which they can understand.
Sex chromosome is what determines if you get a Y chromosome, you have your male. You get the mitochondrial, and it matches up with the mother mitochondria, you're girls. You have your mitochondrial DNA, which is the haplogroup, and you have your maternal Y chromosome, which is the haplogroup. It comes from the Greek term haplogroup, which means to unfold. It's talking about sex chromosomes. All diploid or complex organisms have haplogroup, sex chromosomes. That goes unchanged. For example, you have 4 grandparents. You have 8
brother, we get that. I don't mean to cut you off, but brother, we get that. We get how you trying to come up and surmise to with your we get that.
Let me just say this, brother.
All right, come on, my brother. Come on, my apologies.
I'm going to go straight to the point. Okay, here's the thing. What they would complain about is that when different companies took that lady's DNA test, those SNPs or single nucleotide polymorphisms to the haplogroup, again, sex chromosome, exist in multiple countries. For example, if she went to ancestry.dna.com, everybody said she came from Sierra Leone when they met Almighty Country DNA. If she took a test with GED match, not GED match, but let's say GED genealogy, it came from Gambia. So what they said is that these different companies go test out these chromosomes, and it says different geographical locations. But again, sex chromosome is not enough DNA to determine your ethnicity. Because again, like I said, you could be from Britain with a Y chromosome that comes from Africa. So what I'm saying is, autosomy, that documentary is old. That documentary was, I think they did that in 2003 or 2004 or 5. They did more research identically on autosomal DNA to go further within autosomal DNA to understand those pair of genes, which is based on the allele pairs of genes that you accumulate from those 23, because you have 23 pairs of your mother and 23 pair of chromosomes for your father. No, that's 1% or less than 1%, which is the 2 chromosomes that determine, or the 1 chromosome that determines the gender in that specific haplogroup. You still got 22 pairs of chromosomes that you get autosomally that determines your eye color, that determines your skin color, that determines how your toes gonna look, determines how your nose gonna look, determines how your face gonna look.
But okay, let's get the show moving. Let's get the show moving. Brother, I understand that we got DNA to make us look this way, make us look this way. What I'm getting to, I want to try to grind into what we get into. The teachings of the Prophet Noble Ali puts us into northwestern and southwestern shores of Africa. Now, let me ask you, according to your DNA research, are you saying that is true or false?
What's true? What
Are we descendants of northwestern and southwestern shores of Africa?
southwestern shores of Africa.
Okay. No. Okay, that's good enough because he said northwest and southwest.
Let's be clear then. Let's not make a mistake on the quote then.
We're gonna pass it around. So he say we're descended from Southwest Africa. That ain't no upgrade to me. That ain't no revision. Now what you're saying, brother Ishmael Bey?
And I got a comment after that.
Come on.
I was saying I wanted to be specific on that.
He said we are descended. He said according to his DNA research, we are descended from Southwest Africa. The Prophet Ali said we're descended from northwest and southwestern shores of Africa. So I'm looking for what we need to upgrade, and we're going to go from topic to topic.
Well, let's be specific on what the quote is, because that's not what's being stated as far as what was read just earlier. Chapter 40. I will be happy to explain.
I was generally speaking. I'm not generally speaking. I was quoting actually from the Constitution and bylaws.
Okay.
More detailed.
Okay. Well, let's be specific. Let's not be general. Let's be specific.
No, that's not general. That's not general.
Okay.
That's what it speaks of in the divine Constitution and bylaws.
Yes, sir. Well, please allow me to be specific.
So that's just what it is.
Okay. Yes, sir. Please allow me to be specific.
Okay, you can. Let my brother Cyrus Hill come in.
Yeah.
Come on, brother.
Yeah, because your question, brother Tahaka Bey, is the same as mine. I'm trying to figure out what is the what is it that where's the upgrade at? What is it that we're getting? How does this change things? Clearly in chapter 47, it says that we came from the land of Canaan. Into first inhabitants came into Africa. I'm trying to figure out what is the alternative and what's the advantage if we're coming from the southern portion of the continent of Africa, which I'm familiar with in the brother's statements. I want to put that on the table. Is it an alternative? And I have another question for the record, a quick one, if I can slip it in. I want to ask this for the record, even for brother Ishmael Bey and brother Ngozi. In terms of, I have a question in terms of their stance. Would they describe themselves more of a creationist or more of an evolutionist? Because that's important to me as well. When we're talking about, setting up the basis of the logic, where would you say you're coming from more, more or less, from the creationist standpoint or from an evolutionist standpoint?
Absolutely. I'll be happy to answer that. And please let me go back so I can be specific before I was
sorry. Didn't mean to cut your science.
No problem at all. No problem at all, God. Chapter 47, Egypt, the capital empire of the Dominion of Africa, which was read. It states specifically, the inhabitants of Africa are descendants of the ancient Canaanites from the land of Canaan. Old man Cush and his family are the first inhabitants of Africa who came from the land of Canaan.
That's right.
I don't come from the land of Canaan. I'm not a Moabite. There's nothing in my genetic makeup that says that I come from that region. I am a sub-Saharan African man. I come from Nilo-Saharan roots, not from the land of Canaan.
Oh.
Now, since it's being read that the inhabitants of Africa are descendants of the ancient Canaanites,
there we go.
Prove to us right now that Africa was populated and descend from the land of Canaan. I will await this evidence.
Okay. And the way I would return that, and this gets into a discussion about, what is your, who are you following? Who are your leaders? In the Moorish Science Temple of America, we follow a law. We're in tune with the will of Allah, the will of the universe. The universe is structured in a very in patterns and mathematics. You can see it in the universe. We describe this as the will of Allah. Everything is designed a certain way and it's going a certain way. We follow him. We follow prophets who have a high degree of truth that comes from Allah, and sages and masterminds. That are all working in conjunction with each other. I would also ask you in this question about creation or evolution, what is it that you are following? Would you describe it as purely science? Is it something that we can grasp? Again, I'm just warming up to the discussion. I need to understand some premises first.
Okay, well, first of all, you never answered my question.
I will.
The one that I was cut off on. I did not ask you. I asked Brother Cyrus the question, so I would expect an answer for that.
Okay.
And I'm still waiting.
Now, let me answer real quick. Let me just answer. And the reason why I brought it back as a question is a lot of the areas, again, with the, certain things, are on a public record. Certain things are not on the record. Some things are available. Certain science and research is available. Some research is being uncovered at different times. If my prophet told me that we come out of Canaan and he's giving me the connections that we read in chapter 45, I'm gonna lean on that unless somebody with more weight comes and brings you something better. And what I found, and it speaks to what we were talking about a few weeks ago, belief, faith, and fruition. I'm a more that's at the point of faith. I don't question Prophet Noble Drew Ali. Whether we see it or we don't see it, I know it's coming. I know, as research unfolds, these things will come. So that would be something that we would have to go back and gather the research. Maybe Sharif can speak to that, but I would have no problem coming back to that with you later, because those are records that are obscure, brother man.
What I would say is this, brother. What I would say is this, dear brother. I respect the way that you answered that.
But let me say this real quick.
Yes, sir.
Yes. I don't want to cut your wisdom. Come on, brother. Come on.
No, it's your show, please, brother.
No, brother. I want you to speak, brother, because I want to speak to what you said.
I just wanted to let the brother know I respect the fact that he relied on his faith for that answer, because he could not prove it.
Well, let me tell you,
brother.
Okay, with that being said, brother, I don't know if you had a chance to check out the research given out by Dana Marnichi. And I'm not saying that is a total qualification to qualify that life came up out of the ancient land of Canaan. Although that's what her research has proven. And I can tell you in the days to come that more research is going to follow suit and proving just that. So just because the research haven't caught up with the prophet, that doesn't mean that it's not accurate. We have research now that verifies what the prophet has taught. And Dana Marnichi is one of the premier people who research that catches up with the prophet. With that, brother Sharif got his mic off. Let me get Sharif in real quick so he can add in.
I'm on, brother, man. I was just sitting there listening. Y'all was going crazy for a second. I was like trying to figure out what's going on. Like, okay. All right, so there are a couple things I'll address briefly, but to get for my sake, and also too for the sake of the listeners, we want to get some order and structure. The topic of the show being, does the Prophet Noble Drew Ali's work need revising or upgrading or updating or not? And we have pro and con, which is, I think this is a dope conversation to have. Now, back on one of the specifics regarding chapter 47, right? From the land of Canaan, quote unquote, land of Canaan. There's a number of things that we need to identify. It's the whole thing of them understanding being understood. When we spoke with, for instance, when we first made contact with Sister Dana Marnichi, and we mentioned the phrase land of Canaan, and she said, "Oh, you're talking about Southern Arabia." And then from there said, "Oh, okay, so that coincides with my research of an early, Proto-Africoid people on a number of occasions migrating further west, and also people in the present-day West Africa being descendants of a Berber migration from the north, and also a migration further east into the west." So I would say, and again, from our information, from my research, with not just Sister Dana Marnichi, but Rudolph T. Ware in his book, The Walking Quran, and a number of other authors, for instance, what's his name? William Steebling, Out of the Desert, Prometheus books, and also The Bible Unearthed by Israel Finkelstein. Those researchers agree with chapter 47. Now, here's one of the things I'll address with Brother Ish, because when he was speaking of himself not having Canaanite DNA or Moabite DNA, right? The people, when we read chapter 47, that part, or the last part of Act 6, where it says the Moabites or the Moorish Americans are the descendants of the ancient Moabites who inhabited the northwest and southwestern shores of Africa, right? That short statement implies first and foremost a migration and then a descent nature. So when we say we're not, or like when the brother spoke and said he's not a Canaanite. We're not saying we're Canaanites. The text isn't saying we're Canaanites. The text is saying we're descendant of. Okay, I just wanted to point that out. So we're descendant of Moabites and Canaanites. So in other words, descendant of a people that migrated from the east and from from the eastern area and from the area of southern Arabia into the heart of Africa.
Exactly. Let me speak.
You do, just to answer that, you do know that the term descendant means that they're the parent of you. You descend from something, right?
Absolutely.
So
Yes,
what you would be saying is that mitochondrial Eve is located in the land of Canaan. That's what you're professing.
Well, somewhat. And I'm glad you pointed that out. Thank you, sir. Now, when we say descendant, and especially as it relates, because I want to keep it on topic, especially as it relates to the prophet's teaching, and the prophet's teaching was not genetic identity. That's the big thing that I want to touch on. The prophet's teaching was on national identity. So when we're talking about the people in present day West Africa or Northwest Africa or Southwest Africa, they themselves have a particular descent nature. Now, there is what we would call genetic descent nature. There is also ethnic descent nature. There is also national and imperial descent nature. So we're dealing with multiples at this point. You see what I'm saying? That's my point in terms of being very, very, very specific.
So the inhabitants means the people, the inhabitants, so the claim is that the inhabitants of Africa come from the land of Canaan. That's what's being professed. That is scientifically impossible. If every human being descended from the land of Canaan, there would be a genetic link from every human being to the land of Canaan. That is emphatically false.
This is the reason why.
That is not true scientifically. That is not true culturally. And that is not true.
I think you're obligated to prove how you're saying that's not true scientifically.
Exactly.
I will be happy to. I'll be happy to in a limited time. I'll be happy to right now.
Because I'm gonna show you how it does make sense. But you just can't smoothly say it's not. We're not gonna go with that. But let my brother Ngozi while you look for that file. Ngozi, come on, my brother.
Oh no, I have the link right now. I don't have to look for it. I got the link right now. Okay, so it's right here. I'm posting it up, and you can please post that up. It says who are the Moabites? Who are the modern day Moabites? If you can please post that link. It's right now posted.
Where's that?
It's right there in the back link.
Screenshot.
Okay, let me just say this too. The modern day Moabites, I want to talk about the genealogy. The modern day Moabites, and I'm glad the brother link sent that link. The modern day Moabites who live in Jordan.
So you got to screenshot it. You got to screenshot it so the people can see it.
Okay,
all right.
Brother, you got the link, right?
Yes, I do.
Okay. Now, can I ask you a question about the Canaanite thing right quick? So we can go in because we got articles on that too that we can post too.
Oh, come on.
Okay, now here's the thing. We don't come from Canaanites. We never came from Canaanites. Canaanites come from us. People were, even with Dana-Manishi, in a lot of areas in that part of the world, it was marshland. Now, if you talk about Yemen, you have Nubian complexes.
Brother, you're gonna have to prove these notions, brother. You can't keep talking about marshlands. Get on the computer, screenshot some things, because we ain't gonna get all this old conjecture and lead people to believe this nonsense. Next thing you know, we be talking about spaceships. Now we need to get some.
I still got a question on the floor too. I can get answered as well.
No, because you talk about that was marshland and wasn't nobody here, brother. We can say a whole bunch of stuff, but we're gonna have to show and prove tonight.
I'm trying to show and prove. I want you to listen to me, brother.
Come on with it, brother.
I want you to I'm not your computer. I want you guys to look up Nubian complex.
No, we're not looking up, brother. You got to show and prove. This is an hour and a half show. You got to put this stuff up, my brother, because it sounds real good. It sounds real good.
Hey, Brother Ish, if you can, beloved, could you read E1B1B article? I want you to read the distribution, and I want you to read the origin that I sent to you. Could you do that for me, brother?
Sure, brother. I'll pull it up right now. Just one
I
second.
also asked a quick question I didn't get an answer to yet for the record, Brother Talk. I don't know if you caught that about the leadership. Who are we following?
You asked what is my belief of where we come from? Is that
No,
right, brother?
brother, I said specifically something different. I asked, who are you following? What do you follow? Who are you following?
And, all right. So what do you mean? Who am I following? I follow.
I gave an example. I said Moorish Americans are following Allah and following the prophets who are following Allah, and the sages and the masterminds that follow the prophets.
All right. So
I'm trying to figure out who is your master teacher? Who are you following in general?
My master
teacher. Better understanding of where you're coming from.
I'll answer that question again. My master teacher is the truth.
Gotcha.
Come on, that's relative, man. You know, come on. Ish, you got to come back.
Truth is not relative. Truth is right and exact.
No, truth. I mean, ultimate truth develops. You know that. Ultimate truth develops. You can. What your truth?
If you're asking me,
that's a sufficient answer. That's his answer, Brother Tahaka Bey. It's a sufficient answer. It is what it is.
Hold up, brother, because I know.
I'll be happy to elaborate.
No, what I notice in these conversations, a lot of brothers will talk real smooth, but what happens is they do not define what they're talking about. It sounds real good. I've heard Ngozi say this stuff so much that it sounds recorded. It doesn't even sound original.
No, you know? I said I'll be happy to explain.
Show and prove what he's talking about so the people can learn. Come on, Ngozi, the floor is yours, my brother.
I'll be happy to explain what I have stated.
Ngozi got to go, my brother. Oh, Ngozi trying to jump in, brother. I love this. Come on, Ngozi.
I love the spirit. That's not right there. That's pretty plain. Here's the thing, man. Brother, if you can pull up the article now, if you're reading the maternal lineage and the origins of the people of the so-called area that you guys are talking about,
the volume is low, Tahaka.
Saudi Arabia. I also have something called Nubian complex. If y'all can't do it, that's fine. But you went up to this list of Nubian complex. What you're going to discover is you have a human population that migrated out of East Africa and went into the so-called.
This stuff sounds smooth. And Ngozi, what you're not getting is that you sound real smooth. But you're not showing us anything. Ish is not showing us anything. Man, that's just like the preacher talking. This is the modern day preacher. This is the modern day preacher, brother, talking that E1, B1, there was desert storms, and there was marshlands, and all of this. It sounds like a modern day preacher, brother. Come on, show and prove.
Brother Sharif is on that report. He said Proto-African, and I'm glad he said
that. Man, I love my family, man. Yeah,
Brother Ish, I need you to keep up with these questions too, brother, man. So you answered the first one. I also asked if you lean on the evolutionist side, right?
Emphatically, no, sir.
Got you. No, duly noted.
So the point that I'm making is, for example, I just showed the 60-minute clip, and I can show the whole clip, but I want the show to move on. I just showed the 60-minute clip to say that, and I can show the whole clip if you want to, that says that if you take a DNA from here, if you take a DNA from there, it may put you here, it may put you there, it may put you everywhere from different companies. That's what that says. Now, even Dr. Kittles, who Ishmael referred to, would say that it's still a developing science. He says this. He even said it on the show too, because I asked him. But nevertheless, the point that I'm saying is that when we say something, brother, we have to be able to show and prove emphatically, because I gotta attest your analysis. My analysis that Dana Marnichi and the authors that Brother Sharif cited, they confirm our prophet's teaching. So we're saying that we don't have to upgrade. But you're saying that DNA, and I'm telling you that DNA is not a science. If you look in the Tree of Life, it's a scientific magazine specifically talking about DNA. It will go. Now let me
ask you a question, Brother Tahaka. You've been asking us questions and we've been answering. How about you answer some questions for me for a change?
My brother, give me one.
Thank you, sir. The term science. Can you please post up for us the definition of the term science?
I sure will, my brother.
Thank you, family.
We'll do it right now.
Yes, sir.
Did you put up that article on the A1B1B marker?
I have it right there in the back chat right now. It's right there to be posted up on the share. Absolutely, it's been posted up 4 times.
Okay, no, but this is the answer to your question. I'm prove right now that the people in that area was African. It's not, we don't come from them. We went in our own direction. But the people in that area was African. And you do have back migration. But the people that, even the country that Uncle Johnny said you come from is not where you come from. Tunisia, Algeria, Morocco, those were Berbers. Those were Amazigh, Afro-Asiatic speaking people. That's what they were. He comes from what we classify as the North Niger Ethiopian population of you. That's where we come from now.
Okay, and goes. Can you give the family a reference? I'm not gonna cut your wisdom. Can you give the family a reference, because you haven't given their reference yet, and you continue to say where we come from? What is your reference that we can draw from, brother?
The article, the brother is. Would you read that?
Let me see. Let me see if I can see. Hold up.
Yes, it's right there. He just posted up the science on the share, and the E1B1 information is posted up 4 times on the back.
No, that's
Can I address something really quick? Islam.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Come on, brother.
Peace, brother Ngozi. You had just mentioned, and I'm glad you brought it up. You had mentioned something. It's been hard for me to get in and say anything, but you had mentioned that the area that's now called Tunisia and this area in North Africa, saying that that's not our. Are you saying that that's not our people, or us here? Is that what you're saying? We're not those people?
This is what I'm saying. When we talk about Moors was a collection of different groups of Africans, and some of them were even from the Arabian Peninsula. Now, I'm not even going to get into the Almohades and the alphabet. I'm saying that the Berber population, even when you say the Capsian period, we have to know who are we talking about when we talk about these North Africans that lived in the Mediterranean. Now, yes, the original people that inhabited that area did not look the way they look today. The original people in that area would be classified for the Swakiana and other people that deal with bioanthropology. They would be classified as the Ethio-Somali race. They were darker skinned. The remnants of the original people, like the Geographic, who today they're the descendants of the Tariq population. The Tariq population, those were the type of people that lived in North Africa before the population that we descend from in the Sahel went down. Now, if you study Talent City cave art in West Africa, when we used to all live in the Sahara amongst one another, the people that live in the Gulf Mediterranean, that's not you. But the Moors, a lot of the Moors, especially the Moors of the military that was with the Berbers, because Moors could be a Berber or it could be a Niger Congo group. A lot of the original Niger Congo group was Senegalese.
Hey, brother, you keep saying this stuff with no reference, brother.
Brother.
That's not the brother. You gotta have references when you're talking this stuff. It sounds
brother, it's on. Brother Talker Bay, hold on, brother. I appreciate what he was saying. As a matter of fact, I value and honor pretty much everything he was saying. Now, I would like to add to that and share this regarding what he said about the Berbers and the peoples of North Africa and even the West African. I would agree on what he said about Moors, especially in ancient time, being at some times Berbers, or those in Central and Sub-Saharan Africa. Some people in that area. I agree 100%. Now, would I agree that they were considered Moors for the exact same reasons? No. For what I had said earlier regarding different types of descent nature. You have genetic blood descent nature. You also have national, political, and ethnic descent nature. And these are things that all have to be taken into consideration when we consider the issue, because the prophet taught on national identity. Now, that being said, right, the Berbers or the Beriberi, right, included those who came from Libya and settled in pre-Christian period Sudan. They included the classes of people like the Yoruba, the Kanuri, the Hausa, the Kwarafa, and the Kwafa branches of the Yoruba, the Zagawa. I mean, you name it. All these are West Africans that I'm speaking of, but these were Berbers, as you would say, original Berbers. We're not talking about in later time. We're talking about in an earlier time. So it would be very, very, and this is, respectfully, in my opinion, if we consider the time period, it would be very difficult to draw a distinction between those Berbers and us.
The original Berbers, before we even had, I'm talking about, when you go back to Proto-Saharian, right? The original Berbers would be classified or look like Ethio-Somali population. They weren't what races are called black. They weren't black. But yet still, a lot of those people, you have to study the Capsian period. So yes, those populations were darker skinned, but they had a specific feature. And the remnants of that, on the recent passages of what we can see is the Tuareg population. Now, it's a difference between the Afro-Asiatic speaker and the Niger-Congo speaker. Now, the Afro-Asiatic language does come out of Africa. It's original to Africa. But the population of people that we descend from were not Afro-Asiatic speakers. They were Niger-Congo speakers, but you have a common ancestor from something called Proto-Bornean and Nilo-Nigerian mother tongue. They gave rise to both stratos. And we went into all unique direct.
Now, that's what, now, brother, I like that. But that's why I would disagree with you. This is why I say that. And what I'll offer as one thing is evidence to that. When you said that our people are not descended from Afro-Asiatic speakers, we're descended from Nilo-Congo speakers. This is a point to support why I would disagree with that. The idea or the notion that our people are descendants of, or are descendants only of Nilo-Congo or sub-Saharan Africans only was invented by the European imperialists. The turn of this.
My grandmother was from southern Algeria. I mean, she was Berber. She was what we classified. She wasn't a Kabaria branch. She was a Puri from the southern part. My grandfather was a Fula, the Red. They met in the military overseas. They got together. They met each other in France before coming here. So, I mean, I know that my ancestry have lineage in that northern area. But what I'm saying is most of the people that were kidnapped and brought here, the more presence that we have, or the people that were in contact with the Moors could be a lot of the Niger-Congo populations that were Moors or part of the Moorish Empire, depending on location.
Okay.
From Senegal. Let me just say this. They were from Senegal. They were from Mandinka from Mali, and they were from Mali.
So
let me just say, I'm almost finished.
okay, my brother, I apologize.
Let me just say this. Even when you study General of the Almohad Empire, General Yaqub el-Mansur, his mother was from Mali, but his father was half Berber and half Arab. So a lot of the Berbers had Niger-Canadian mother. So what I'm saying is that the specific people that were kidnapped, we talk about the Moorish lineage that connects us to the Moorish Empire, or so-called people that were classified as Moors, you gotta go back to Senegal, which is right under Mauritania, and Mauritania is right under Morocco. You gotta go back to Timbuktu with the ancient Mandinka Empire. Those people are us, and those people are Niger-Congo speaking people that's been in that area for thousands of years, and they will come to the Middle East.
Brother, you actually confirming the prophet's teaching.
Now, here's the thing, when the prophet talks about the people that back migrated, let's go back to Idobel. Let's go back to Idobel, the Phoenician population that came in at 800 BC. Even before the Vandals took over and the Romans took over, and even when you had the early Levitican farmers that came in as early as 10,000 years ago, those people were intermingling with those northern Mediterranean Capsian population in North Africa for almost 10,000 years. The Phoenicians came in at 800 BC. What the hell is a Phoenician? The Phoenician is a cross-breed between Amalite and Sea. And we know the Sea people came to northern Egypt around early as 1400 BC. And when the Sea people from the Aegean area, southern Mediterranean parts of Europe, migrated down and intermingled with the Amalekites, a lot of those people lay on in the 800 BC. Those Phoenicians came in North Africa and Idobel before Hannibal was born in 200 BC. So we got to take the timeline of what we're saying. So this is what I mean by upgrade. Putting more detail in into what Noble Jolly was saying and be specific. Because when you say Canaanites don't, we don't come from Canaanites, not us.
But what Canaanites are you referring to?
Canaanites came from us. That's why I'm going to read the article and you just put down the DNA and show that the Canaanites come from us.
No, I did. I put up the article. Who are the Moabites today? Brother Ish, are you there?
Yes, I am. Yes, sir, brother. I'm here, and I would like to. I can read it if you'd like to post it up again. I can read it right now. Absolutely.
Hey, bro, hold up 1 second.
The question is asked: Who are the Moabites today?
Okay.
And it states the nation of Moab was located within the modern day country of Jordan. The descendants of Moab, who have remained in the same geographical area as their forefathers, now call themselves Jordanians. Though political, have altered ancient borderlines and names originally assigned to ancient properties in the Middle East, the ancestors of those who currently live in those locations cannot be changed. So
Okay.
these modern Jordan people are the Moabites.
Okay.
There's no genetic link between me and that region.
Brother Ish, do you realize that you are quoting a source from BibleGateway.com, Showtime.net? These are your sources, right?
Okay.
That's
so
my
now,
point.
so we also have
these are your scholars, right?
No. We have the genetic. I have the genetic link that's posted up also. Can you please pull that up?
What I'm saying is your BibleGateway.com is your leader.
I don't.
Okay.
You know, I don't have a problem with the source. I don't have a problem.
Can I jump in, Brother Tanaka, for a second?
Sharif, what I'm trying to say is, I'm not saying if the source is correct, it's correct. But the thing is, we use sources just to confirm our notions without deep research. He probably didn't even know that came from BibleGateway.com.
I know exactly where it came from because I'm the person who posted it.
Okay, whatever one you got, brother. I just BibleGateway.com. I gotta trust Prophet over Drew Ali over Bible Gateway.
There it is. Let me jump
I'm
in
saying
when
it's backing.
Go ahead, Brother Ishmael.
But what I'm saying is it's backing up the scientific page that I've posted up just now. If you can pull that up, it will back up exactly what's being stated.
The scientific page. Let's see. I guess you're talking.
This is my issue.
It's right. It's right underneath what Brother Sharif had posted up.
The thing is, I'll be cutting people off because I want to try to get somebody to bring some clarity to what they're saying instead of just talking. So you gave me something right here, and I get excited. I get excited when I see this stuff due to the fact that I'm looking at the sources from which it come from, and we start talking this E1, B1, and all of this type of stuff, hollow groups and all this type of stuff. And to a lay person, this stuff don't mean nothing.
Harker Bay, we are more scientists. We're supposed to be dealing with science.
Here's my thing, but we also deal in logic. We also deal in logic, Brother Talk. If I could jump in just for a split second, because it is kind of somewhat confusing and there's some error in the way that we're formulating this, and you're hitting directly on it, Brother Talk. First, let me go back to that section from 45 to clarify the Moabites' relationship to the Canaanites. It says in verse 4, it says, the Hindus of India, the descendants of the ancient Canaanites, Hittites, and Moabites from the land of Canaan, which describes a relationship, but there's some room for clarity. To my point, I'm confused because I think that the way that we're approaching this, I always speak to the European uses chess moves. When we're talking about the brother Rick Kittles, and you look into his background, you know what I mean. We gotta dig all the way deep and make sure that we're not, there's no possibility for double cross. And I'm not disrespecting brother Kittles because I don't know him at all, but I do see he's a Kappa. You know what I mean? He's a Kappa Alpha. You know what I mean? Which speaks to something to me. A part of my instinct say, is there room for him to have been handled? You know what I mean? And what are the odds of the European taking our identity away, our nationality away, and then giving it back to you? We need to, like, when you, for example, when you look at the in World War, look at U.S.-Russian relation today, and look at the way that information is being used as a weapon. You know what I mean? If you follow from the beginning in the war in Ukraine to the Russians actually going into Syria and begin to point out and say, well, that's Al Qaeda right there. Not Al Qaeda, but that's that's ISIS right there. And they look like to be in cahoots with Turkey and with the United States. And the United States says, we say, well, no, that's not so. And then there's information going back and forth. It says the Russians are bombing the good guys, and we're backing the moderates. And we say they bombed the hospital, and they show the proof that said this is not a hospital. This is a very sophisticated game. We cannot underestimate. Let me finish this point. We can't underestimate the chess behind the moves that the European makes, and to think that because they have ancestry services now, and we can now do the genealogy and cut to the chase and know exactly who we are, and then lean on that, and then sidestep a prophet who came to you, who has information that's unfolded. I think there's some error in that. I think that we, I don't know if we can trust these services or the researchers, and we're even looking, what we're talking about is even the basis behind the science itself. And even more importantly, to finish the thought, how does all of this speak to unity on the ground right now? Is it creating a greater unity, or is it causing some division or confusion? This is where my logic actually takes me first, even before I start sipping the Kool-Aid. I'm looking at the package. I'm reading the back of the package first. Islam.
All right, Islam, brother. So a couple questions for you. If Dr. Khalid Abdul Muhammad is Omega Psi Phi, how is the credibility of the work of Dr. Khalid Abdul Muhammad in question because he was a Q dog? Was he not an African revolutionary and an African leader here in the soil of North America? Was he not attacked by the president, vice president, Congress, and Senate of the United States of America as an African revolutionary? What if the Honorable Marcus Garvey, what if, well, that's exactly what you're doing because he was a Q dog.
Let me answer that one quick point.
I'll let you flow. Let me rock out, bro. I didn't cut you off. So the point is this. If the Most Honorable Marcus Garvey was a Mason, does that discredit the work, Honorable Marcus Garvey, the same gentleman that you put in the entrance of every time you get up on the mic and you speak and you give honor to him? So in other words, does that discredit the work of the Honorable Marcus Garvey or any other Mason or any other Shriner or anyone that's affiliated with any of these sororities or fraternities all over America? You discredit Dr. Rick Kittle's work. However, you discredit or attempted to discredit Dr. Rick Kittle's work, but you never for 1 second addressed his science. All you tried to do was, in a feeble attempt, was discredit what he presented by trying to discredit him as a man, but you never addressed his information.
When you're done, let me speak to that. Can I speak to that? Okay, all right. So here's the thing. Brother Marcus Garvey was involved in Masonry. Prophet Noble Drew Ali was in the lodge, all right? But their works and their deeds, we talk about how we can trace ourselves to our footsteps. I know them. I know them well from their work, so I can qualify to say that although they may have went in, what they did afterwards speaks to the fact that they were able, it speaks to me on what they represented in terms of our people. Brother Kittles, I don't know the brother. My point is a different point. My point is saying we can't afford to swap out the prophet for someone. I don't know this brother at all. You know what I mean? I'm hoping that he could be a good move, but I see a cracked door there, and I see an opportunity for a chess move. And whether or not the European made that chess move or not, I'm not throwing out the prophet for that. For me, it's an unsound decision.
But brother, in the same sense, you use the quote, "Man knows not by being told." But here it is, you blindly follow a man.
That's a better conversation. Now we get into the root.
Well, I mean, now you can't have it both ways, brother. You can't
choose to go that route. We can go that route.
I'm there. I'm there, brother. So my point is this: you can't say "man knows not by being told" and then sit there and say, "I can't trust this man who's a scientist," but then I didn't trust this man who's not a scientist.
That's not what I said. I spoke to footsteps, clearly cut.
He agreed with the European that says that it needs development.
Dr. Rick Kittles agreed that the haplogroups does not make up the overall autosomal DNA. If you go back, if everybody goes back and listen to the show, they're going to see what I said was accurate. 60 Minutes did not debunk him. Only thing he said was it was over autosomal DNA. It is not debunk him. He admitted anybody that knows DNA knows the haplogroup.
Do y'all want to play real quick?
You all know that this is way off topic now, right? All of this is, man.
No. Let's finish, Sharif. We're gonna wrap it up. Sharif, we're gonna wrap it up, and then we're gonna get back on topic. We're gonna hit on.
What I would rather hear, this is me personally.
Let's do this, brother. Finish what you're saying, brother. It goes.
I really want my brother Ish to read the article, the short proof that Canaanites came out of East Africa. We don't come from them. The markers is there. And if we want to get into, it's a few articles. And Dana Manisi, her stuff is right. I mean, some of us stuff, but again, it's the agenda going on for everybody. Even when you just read the genealogy of Hittites, Ham. First of all, Ham and Cush are not historical people. Ham means Adam. Cush means anything south or equatorial.
Hey, brother, I think a lot of what you're saying is ambiguous, and with all due respect, I think a lot of what you're saying is ambiguous. But my one is because you haven't bring any proof. I posted the thing that brother Ishmael post gave me. It's a reference from a Bible thing. I look at the E1B1 thing. It doesn't give us concrete fact.
Well, please post up the E1B1 thing then, so I can read it.
I already posted it.
All right, please post it up, and I can read it, and we'll deal with it. Let's deal with the science.
What I want to do is this. My brother.
Oh, you don't want to do that?
No, we can do it. We can do it. We can do it for a second. I don't want to spend a whole bunch of time on it because the topic is: do prophets know but true Ali's teachers need to be up?
This is part of the answer. I want to read it.
Sure, it's a part of the answer. Absolutely, it's a part of the answer. I'm ready to read it right now.
If you could, beloved, could you just read it, then I'll explain it. This is part of the answer of why it needs to be upgraded. That's all.
Okay, so we're dealing with the E1B1 and the Natufian culture. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
So it's stating in the second paragraph, right under the Eastern African origin, it reads, quote, tested the first DNA samples from the Mesolithic Natufian culture in Israel, possibly the world's oldest sedentary community, and found that the male individuals belong to haplogroups.
Hold on. Where are you reading from? I want to put it up so that people can see what you read with you.
Sure, it's the second paragraph right underneath where it says the Eastern African origins. You see that part?
Okay.
It says tested. You see where it says East African origins?
Okay, there we go. All right, come on.
All right, it's the second paragraph. It says tested the first ancient DNA samples from the Mesolithic Natufian culture in Israel, possibly the world's oldest sedentary community, and found that the male individuals belong to either the haplogroup CT or E1B1, including E1B1 and B2 samples. These are to date the oldest known E1B1 individuals. The same haplogroups show up in the pre-pottery Neolithic Jordan, accompanied by the new haplogroups H2 and T. Besides, E1B1 was not found in Neolithic Iran and Anatolia, and only showed up twice among the hundreds of Neolithic European samples that have been tested. This suggests that agriculture did not originate with E1B1 tribes, but rather was brought by the H2T newcomers to the Levant. They would have blended with the E1B1 people and together spread the agriculture to the Arabian Peninsula and to North Africa. Now, would you like to elaborate on that, Brother Ngozi?
Yeah, I'm going to elaborate on that. Now, that's the back migration. Now, when you talk about the time period, when you talk about the Natufians were made up of a group of people called the Hellenic population of people. They come out of the Tyrian culture. They leave out of North Africa and go into the so-called Levant. When you talk about the back migration, a lot of those people spend time in the Levant area, with other populations of humans or amalgamated, and through time they develop their own unique pathogens and went through their own morphologies, discovered different things, and a few of those people came back in. And this is where we get the back migration from. This is where we understand subgrade branch of E1B1B or M81 and M34. They came back in. It was a back migration. So the people of the Levant, except Africa, they spent time in the so-called Middle East, and a lot of the population of people, when they went over there, they come back. And it's like if all of us with the Puerto Rico had children spent time there, we're going to leave our markers behind. Paternity test is real. We want to deal with DNA to see if we the baby daddy. It's real. And then your children there, the enemy will.
But we talking about DNA thousands of years ago, bro. I got to cut your wisdom on that. You can't associate paternity test from a father to a son to thousands of years ago to be the same. Cut it out.
Absolutely can. You absolutely can, and that's exactly what he just proved. But my point is this. My question is this to you, brother Taharka. Now the question was asked.
You don't have enough research developed on DNA for thousands of years in order to confirm what you're saying.
You want to know? First of all, 60 minutes already proved the point. You said 60 minutes said it's a small piece of DNA that goes unchanged. That small piece, brother, is the haplogroup. It goes unchanged. You can't get that haplogroup.
This brother still talking about the haplogroup.
That percent goes unchanged. It takes time, so it could go back thousands of years paternally. It tells the origin of where your specific signal body wants to develop that.
So my brother, real quick, so we can move on and get some questions in, brother. So you're saying that the part that need to be upgraded and updated is the origin of those who are descendants of slaves in America and those who have migrated before the slave trade.
I'll let you answer that, brother Taharka Bey. I'm asking you directly. I'm asking you directly right now. I'm asking you right now. Does all science have to be upgraded?
Yes, absolutely.
Now, hold on. You have stated that all science has to be upgraded. That means European science, That means Chinese science, German science, African science, and that means Moorish science, brother. You just answered the question. Moorish science has to be upgraded.
Let me explain something to you. Moorish science is a science founded on the principle that it came from a source beyond our power, our knowledge, an incomprehensible source, which we choose to deem that source to be Allah. So we're saying that when we received it, it is right and exact, and we have to catch up to it. With the science that we're talking about is the science of the universe coming from a source which you can't comprehend just yet. And now this is not, no, I don't want to get spooky about it, but I'm telling you that science will catch up with the Prophet Noble Drew Ali. Without a doubt or contradiction, it's already doing that. We're saying that this comes from the source from which your heart beat. This comes from the same source that send electrons through your mind. We're saying that we haven't caught up with it yet. But we're saying that we can confirm exactly what y'all are saying need to be upgraded. We can confirm that today.
Brother Taharka, I just pointed out to you that every other
science that you're using right now. So you can't put that in the same boat.
If
you're speaking out of emotion and not logic right now, brother.
Let me go ahead, brother Ish, and then I got a question for you. I got a quick
sure. That type of a statement is being made out of emotion and not logic.
Brother,
all science has to be upgraded, regardless of who. No,
European or earthly Asiatic science, you can't put it with that, brother. We're saying that the Prophet Noble Drew Ali comes from a source beyond earthly comprehension, and people might call that spooky or call it whatever they want to be, but that's what we're saying.
Brother Ishmael, has the European admitted openly that Egypt was not a European civilization? I haven't seen that done, in a big way, if at all.
Have you studied Martin Bernal, brother?
Let me finish this statement. Actually,
I want to answer. I answered your question.
My question.
Answered your question.
Let me finish. I'm saying the European is not openly. They still making. They're not admitting that even Egypt at this point, which it should be obvious, is an African culture. It's still being pushed as European.
You just ignore that. I just answered you.
The problem with the way that you approach it is I think it may be the way that you're approaching this particular thing. And say from an outside, I respect the fact that Brother Ngozi said he was a member of Temple Number 9 in Chicago. So that actually adds a lot of gravity to what he's saying. And but I would say the part of if I could actually criticize this slightly, the way that you're approaching it as someone who I don't know of having been ever a member of the Moorish Science Temple of America from the outside, saying that it needs to be upgraded. It may be the word. I more hear what you're saying now based on your last statement. I hear now based on your question. Brother, can I finish?
You asked me a question and then I answered your question.
Can I finish my statement? Now who's emotional? Come on. I understand more now from your last statement that it may not be an upgrade as much as an add-on. We need to build on to say if we would have said we build on to what Prophet Noble Drew Ali, I think it would have been a little bit more palatable. My point is though, when you look at this brother Howard Hughes, you look at, again, we're talking about Russian-U.S. relations. You look at Howard Hughes in World War II in the nuclear arms race to put a close to World War II, with the extent that the United States went to in picking Howard Hughes up to build a ship to go out into the middle of the Pacific Ocean under the disguise of being an oil tanker, but an armature that reached down to the bottom of the ocean and picked up a nuclear bomb right under the nose of the Russians, tells you that these guys are not playing checkers. So my point in terms of just the footprint of what's being asked, to me, it sounds a little divisive. I don't understand how this creates a greater, if unity to me, and no one's spoken to that at this point. We're also at a loss. No one's spoken to how this works in terms of bringing us closer to this goal that's so necessary in terms of unity. To me, it has the footprint, or it has the signature of something that's a little divisive. You know what I mean? Where we're now saying this technology is now saying, y'all not Moors. Don't think that you just Moors. Y'all might not even be Africans. Y'all can be Europeans. To me, that this smells. It doesn't pass the sniff test.
Okay, are you done, brother?
Oh man, are you done? Oh, brother,
yes, sir, I'm done.
All right. So again, I wanted to know if you heard me or if you just ignored me when you asked me were there any Europeans that bear witness to Black Africa. I answered your question and said, have you ever heard of Dr. Martin Bernal before?
No, the name is not even vaguely familiar to me. No.
Okay, what I would ask for you to do is to study the works of Dr. Martin Bernal.
That's
He
not my
has a
point.
series-
That's semantics, brother, man. I mean, have you ever
I'm
heard of
trying
what
to
a Paul Goethe is? You know what Goethe
I'm
is?
sorry, brother. Why you cut me off?
Yeah,
You're being
go ahead.
emotional
No,
now,
but I'm
brother.
saying the way that
Please
you
don't cut
phrase
me
that,
off.
the way you phrase that, I take offense.
Please don't cut me off, brother. You're being very emotional.
Go ahead, though.
So my point is this: Dr. Martin Bernal has a series of books called Black Athena. He's also done debates with Dr. John Henrik Clarke. He's a proponent of Africa being the influence of the Greek culture as well as the origins of Egypt. A very prominent doctor, again,
Right,
Dr.
I'm
Martin
familiar with his
Bernal. So
work now.
please,
Yeah,
okay,
back to memory. Right.
good. Okay, so we're on the same page with that.
No, not at all. Not at all. And again, your condescending tone of kind of being condescending is not really gelling right with me. But what I will say is the point of what I'm saying is that, I don't think the European is going to gift wrap your identity and give it to you in a service that you can get on a .com. That's what I'm saying in general. I don't know if that's a little bit more clear.
Let my brother Ngozi get in, brother. Let my brother Ngozi, my pops. We getting heated up here, brother. Come on, man. We gotta get some calls in. So come on, brother.
Okay. Thank you for getting me on mute. Now here's the thing. I want to ask this question. Yes, Europeans have put out recently that the Egyptians was not European or Arab. The article was done through National Geographic and Special Whale Geneticists. They were not Europeans, nor were they Arab. The Arab percentage of modern-day Egyptians is at 17%. The European percentage from Southern Europe is at 5 to 3%. The people are indigenous to Northeast Africa. So there is proof. The geneticists out there. They also found the maternal lineage of the third, Ramses the third, he won't be one day. So it's out.
There we go.
So you can see the trace there. So it's put there. You have the marker, you have National Geographic, and we have a few other Europeans that's putting out there that the Egyptians were indigenous to Northeast Africa. The results are there. Also, DNA trials, I don't use them. And a lot of Afrocentrics like to use them because I don't use them because they only measure 8 loci or loci levels. You can't measure that. You need 40 or 60% to measure DNA to determine autonicity. But it shows with 8 loci, sub-Saharan roots, Nilo-Saharan roots in between. Also, they found in pre-dynastic Egyptians sickle cell trait. Now, we know sickle cell evolved in multiple places. You have sickle cell that evolved in Arabia, but it's a specific type of sickle cell that pre-dynastic Egyptians had. It shows the Benin branch. And we know sickle cell evolved from malaria. So that's a non-scientific fact, bro. So I'm going to go ahead and get that out.
Okay, I want to say this. I want to say this. Everything that you have said came from a European reference. We use an Asiatic reference, Sister Dana Marnichi. And these, I will guarantee you, people would say that I trust my people. I have to trust my people. And her reference qualifies because years ago, I had that argument where I couldn't stand on that about the Canaanite. And the sister dedicated tirelessly research, tireless research confirms what our prophet teaches. And I got to go with my sister, and not only hers, brother Sharif named quite a few people, but y'all don't bring not one bit of this. Brother bring a bibliography from just a Google search about that. Ain't no research for real. Come on, issue better than that.
Hold on, brother. So Dana Marnichi is blacker than Rick Kittles now? Is that what you're saying, right?
No. I'm gonna play that thing since you keep saying that. And
I'm saying you just say that we haven't brought any black sources, so you're implying that Dana Marnichi is blacker than Rick Kittles?
What I'm saying is that Dr. Rick Kittles, what I'm saying is Dr. Rick Kittles actually let's just play it and let's see what he say. Let's just see what he say. And then we're gonna go to the calls. Let's see what he say.
But you haven't answered my question, brother. You haven't answered my question at all.
Is that Dr. Rick Kittles actually disqualify himself in this interview, so to say. Not 100 because he's trying to support to come and get a DNA test from him. But if you listen closely, which we will right here.
From our mothers and half from our fathers, almost all genealogy is fraught with.
Here we go.
He would say that even though you have the largest database, it's still small on the scope of things.
As I said, I share those concerns
about yourself.
for DNA.
And that's the rub. This business of genetic genealogy is fraught with limitations. For one thing, it can only provide information about a tiny fraction of our ancestry. Because we get half our DNA from our mothers and half from our fathers, almost all of our DNA gets shuffled and remixed every generation, making it impossible to trace what comes from whom. There are just 2 bits of DNA that remain pure: the Y chromosome, which passes directly from father to son, and something called mitochondrial DNA, which passes unchanged from mother to child. Hank Greeley, a law professor at Stanford University, has studied this new field. He worries that people don't realize just how many ancestors they actually have.
8 generations ago, both you and I had.
Well, let me go back to what he just
What
said.
comes from whom? There are just 2 bits of
I'm going to repeat again.
about yourself,
a DNA.
and that's the
Hold up. One more time.
Set of sequences from Africa. And so with that, we're able to provide some level of probability in terms of
Probability.
But he would say that even though you have the largest database, it's still small on the scope of things.
As I said, I share those concerns
About yourself.
of DNA.
About
And that's the
DNA.
rub.
So we gotta stop. We have to stop playing this game as if.
He didn't prove anything wrong.
No. Listen to what I said. Listen to what I said. He said probability, which means the probability. That's just other terms of saying it's not a science.
All right, let me ask you something, Brother Tahar, because I'm going to put it in an easier way for you. Do you understand the difference?
What is the hard way? Don't easy nothing for me. Don't spoon feed me. Give me the knife and the fork.
All right, I'm gonna ask you a very basic question. Do you understand the difference between Dr. Rick Kittle's company, AfricanAncestry.com, and 23andMe.com? Do you understand the difference of what they're testing in DNA?
No, I do not understand the difference, but I understand common English language when he just agreed with her that.
Okay, so let me explain it to you.
You don't have to. I agree with what he just said. I agree with Dr. Kittle says you can't smooth talk me like a preacher. Dr. Kittle said that was his concern.
All right, emotion aside, let me explain to you the difference.
It's not important.
Not emotion.
It's not important.
When a person says that they don't want the truth, then that means that you're fighting emotion right now.
I just quoted Dr. Kittle's. I played it back 3 times. He said it was a concern of his. You tried to explain something Dr. Kittle's already said was a concern of his is irrelevant to the conversation.
Let me explain to you the difference between the 2 companies.
Oh, man, you ain't gonna get it.
Dr. Rick Kittle's is tracing a specific less than 1% SNP of mitochondria or patrilineal DNA. 23andMe is checking the full amount of your DNA. So in other words, they're not just saying what specific African tribe you're coming from. They don't identify which specific tribe you're coming from. Their company is pulling up your full genetic makeup. Their company is able to tell you you are X amount European, X amount Native American, X amount African. They're not giving you the specific genetic tribe. So there's a difference of what Rick Kittle's is pulling from, and there's a difference between 23andMe is pulling from. It's called 23andMe because it's pulling from all 23 of your chromosomal traits. Dr. Rick Kittle's company is not. He has the largest genetic database of Africans. So he can identify which specific African tribe from the small piece that will be a genetic marker, which is called, the genetic tribes are what's going to make you from Senegal as opposed to being a Khan in Ghana. That's what he's pulling from. So 2 different companies are pulling from 2 different sources.
Okay, my brother, I got you. We got a call on the line real quick. Who I'm speaking with? Negro Science, talk to me, brother, real quick, because I put the wrong number up, so you calling through my cell phone and it's making some noise. But talk to me real quick.
I just want to ask him, is there a difference between blood types only found in America?
Say it again. See, cut up. I gotta put the other number up. Brother Ngozi, are you able to get online and come in?
I'm going out. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, because I'm gonna put the other number up because I got to use this. I can't use my cell phone. People go call me all next week now. All right. Peace and love, family. Listen, this is just a conversation, family. I get worked up. I said I was gonna cut people off when I started this. I get worked up about this thing, but I still love my brothers the same. But my thing is, you can't smooth talk me. That's how we ended up. Believing in these mystery gods. Smooth talk me. And the mystery god to me don't only mean that we have to go to and flap our wings around some pews. Sometimes the mystery god is just some ambiguous information. If you can make it plain, if you can define it, I'm with it. But if you can't make it plain and define it, if you start giving me a quick Google search about where the Moors and the Moabites come from, and then I look at the reference and it comes from BibleSource.com, I'm like, come on, man, we can't doing that. No, I hold your standard more higher than that.
Well, the problem is this, though. It was backed up with the scientific journal that was read from you, the entire E1B1 that backed it up. And number two, the point is this. You're the person who starts off praising all of the prophets. So now all of a sudden you discredit the Bible when it was backed up by DNA and science, but you don't discredit it when you open up with the Bible saying that you honor all the prophets. So what is it, brother?
When did I do that?
You're sitting here trying to say that because it was a Bible source that was backed up by science, you have a problem with that.
No. I said a Bible. It wasn't a Bible
by European.
It was a Bible-based website put up by a European. Stop doing that, brother. Cut it out.
Brother Taharka, aren't the Bibles made by the white man?
Brother, that's not what I'm saying. You get my point, brother. I ain't gonna let you do that. You get my point. You get my point. Let's talk to the caller. You get my point, Ish, that you just can't go to no goddamn source from Google that's Bible-based from a European where he can throw anything in there at any given moment, and that's the only thing you got. Give me 5, 6 of them sources. You Ishmael Bey.
Brother Taharka Bey, it was backed up by a scientific journal.
I'm trying to still figure out what is the alternative that we're, at the core of this conversation we're talking about. Upgrading the moral science temple of America or the teachings of Prophet Noble Drew Ali. I'm trying to figure out what is this alternative that we're entertaining? What is it that is brought to the table by this particular science that many of us just are not, we're not trusting it at this particular point because of a lot of different things. It seems a little too slick. It seems like a setup. But I'm trying to figure out what is the alternative that we're bringing to the table that the Prophet Noble Drew Ali brought.
What's interesting is that no science.
You didn't answer the question.
I'm answering it right now. You just cut me off. What's interesting is this: you have not presented any science yourself. You have not presented not one single source to prove your point of what you're claiming. All you're doing is reading from a Circle 7 Quran, and then when we ask for you to prove what you're stating, you have not done that at all. So please provide us with some sources, brother.
We're saying.
Hold up, brother. I cited Dana Marnichi, brother Sharif cited a couple sites, and you actually, brother Ngozi actually agreed.
Please provide Dr. Dana Marnichi's claim. Please do that.
Wow.
Brother, we just went over that, brother. We got calls now. This is 10:18. Cut it out. Who on the phone?
Hey, this is Conrad. What's going on?
Hey, Conrad, look, let's calm it down, brother. Listen, let's calm it down. Let's don't get all worked up. We all worked up a little bit, but nevertheless, we having a discussion. How you doing, my brother? You know I appreciate you. Confidence in the house, without a doubt. What's up, brother?
First off, I was in the chat room earlier and I kept on saying it, but I think it's all off topic because if we still talking about religion and all of that, it's like, first off, we're supposed to be building on what he taught his teachings, but nobody really specified each of the teachings and stuff like that and what can be done. Number one, we can erase with some of that stuff about some of the things you talk about Africa, we passed that already. Let's talk about why can't we just build on that? And nobody ain't really said nothing about us doing it.
And you know, brother Cyrus Ill was trying to move in that direction with all due respect. But we got caught up with this E1B1, Ebo, Kobe, Bonobi, and all this type of stuff, and we didn't get to even to be able to make an assessment as to what part need to be upgraded, what part not. And I think one of the parts that need to be upgraded that where we came to is that I guess from what I'm hearing and in between me yelling and all that was that we are not, but he agreed that we are descended from South Southwest Africa. So I don't get it. So I think the disagreement was we don't agree.
We come from all different parts of Africa, even though the ports were on the west. Like what you talked about the last time, the thing about it is they went and got slaves.
Absolutely. So what the Prophet Noble Drew Ali is talking about in that sense is a national identity. You know what I mean? So I mean it could go on for days and days and days. But one of my main problems is that in order for somebody to try to upgrade the teachings of a prophet, you better come with some strong information besides just talking about E1, C1, B1.
Exactly.
You better come with some strong information because we're saying this from a prophet. We're saying that we are behind. We haven't caught up yet.
We are. Yeah, especially if we still.
That's all we saying.
The
And then the point is this, my brother Conrad. And then the point is this, my brother Conrad. And then my point is this. If you saying that it's right and exact, create an organization and lead our people to the promised land. Lead our people to the promised land. But just to cause division as saying that it's time to upgrade something, no, you want to do something different. Do something different. That's all.
And tell Ngozi what ideas and what science that he trained that he got before he attacked Pharaoh and all of that. What science you got? What discoveries do he got?
Hey, brother.
Go get published. I'm just saying.
Brother Conrad.
Like, that's not cool, man.
Hey, I got you, Conrad. I appreciate you, brother. This is just a conversation. I'm over it now. I'm over it now. We're going to get some other calls. I appreciate you, brother. Stay tuned. I appreciate y'all in the chat. I appreciate y'all for joining us. I appreciate my brother. Let's get a couple more callers real quick. I want somebody to give my brother Ishmael a call. Ishmael smooth as butter. I'm trying to tell you. It's our family, brother. I
appreciate you, brother Tahaka. You know it's nothing but love, brother. I'm with you.
Exactly.
I'm over it now, brother. I was in there for a minute, but
you got locked in. It's all love. I know. Keep it, man. Keep that warrior spirit, man.
Peace and love, family. Who I'm speaking with? Islam. Who I'm speaking with?
Islam. This is Revelation Bay.
Revelation Bay. Where you calling from, family?
Cleveland.
Cleveland. What's up, my brother? Talk to me. What's going on?
Look, first of all, we like to get this straight. Ain't nobody about to change the prophet's teachings. You know what I'm saying? Second of all, the Bible is not European doctrine. It's our book. So if they want to change something, they need to go about you know what I'm saying? They need to go and make their own stuff.
Yeah, and then I never said that the Bible was European. I said the website that he's drawing from is most likely engineered by a European. Most likely.
Wait, who that speaking right now?
This is Brother Tahaka Bey. I was saying that the Bible-based website was definitely European engineered, and you're not gonna use that as a source without another qualifying source. You can't use that.
No.
Not an Ishmael Bey.
Not you, brother. I'm with you. I'm talking about these Asian dudes on here trying to change the prophet's doctrine.
No, they're not Asians.
He's the one.
Right.
He's the one that brought up that the Bible is. He say, ain't the Bible European doctrine? No, it ain't the European doctrine. It's our book.
Absolutely, our book manipulated. But let's not forget it's our book that has been manipulated too. You know they put their hand in it though.
Yes.
Yeah, they put their hand in it. You know, but like you say, I agree with you on that note. If you want to upgrade, we say it's unnecessary. Just create a new doctrine and lead our people to the promised land. That's my notion. Why upgrade something that needs not to be? It's fine with the Moors. We said we can confirm, we can validate, and we can move on it. It'll unite us. It'll bring us to the state of mind of our ancient forefathers and foremothers. Give us the pride, the unity that we need so we can move out. And we can prove that it's actual fact. It ain't hard.
Brother Tahaka Bey, to make the conversation, to move it along.
Real quick, my brother Cyrus there. Brother from Cleveland, I appreciate you, Revelation Bay, brother. Keep holding on with us, brother. I want to get a few more callers before we go out. This has been a long conversation tonight, brother. I appreciate you, King. Okay, brother, come on, my brother Cyrus Hill.
Yeah, I was gonna say, just to move the conversation a little bit back toward the center where we had intended. I wanted to say that, to brother Ishmael, and I extend a whole lot of respect and honor to the brother for his research. I've known him for a long time. I wanted to say it's an honor to be on the call with you. We're not in disagreement at all.
Yes, sir. I think you present your position beautifully. Please continue, brother.
Yeah, I appreciate that. We're not at all in disagreement with, the premise of utilizing science, and we're not against, I may not be a specialist in the DNA science. Sharif, can speak to that a little bit better. We're not in disagreement with all of the things, any of the things that you're saying. I think that it's just a matter of, the relation that it has to what the prophet actually gave us. Moore's definitely very touchy about making sure that everything is in line with what the prophet gave us. So I wanted to try to see if we could speak to some of the other areas of what Prophet Noble Drew Ali brought, and if there are needs for, whether we call it an upgrade or expounding on the prophet. Can we have a little conversation in that area, brother man? You and is brother Ngozi still on the phone, Tahaka?
Absolutely, brother. I think that's the most important part of why we're even here tonight. I think
that's the most important part. We're all working to try to unify this thing so we can. This is what Tahaka Bey's platform is for: is to unify and bring us up and bring us up together. So sometimes we may not agree immediately on everything. Sometimes we may not understand exactly what each individual is actually trying to bring to the table. We don't mean any offense at all in that way. You know what I mean? So like I said, I wrote down earlier some bullets on what Prophet Noble Drew Ali was able to speak to. And I know you, of all people, know all very well what I'm saying, but this is just for the audience, the listening audience. So if there are other areas that are strong, or other areas that we may need to tune up, maybe we can come together on that and move this toward the center, toward unity, so we can make sure we have a positive output from this conversation. So the list that I have is, the core things to me, being a divine minister in the temple that Noble Drew Ali gave us, is the connection. One, the most important thing, he gave us a connection between Allah and man. I'll run down a list and then we can start at the top, and you tell me if you're in agreement or what your thoughts are in terms of what could be improved or added on. The list real quick is Allah and man are one. Aligning man with the will of Allah. That's the first one. The second one is very important because I think it is the orientation point for unity, and that is the flag. This is our flag. It's a 50,000-year-old flag. I have an argument that if there is anything that we can unify around, it should be something like a 50,000-year-old flag that we may, in one way or another, we all have stakes to. But I would love to hear your input on that as well. What our nationality is. I think I'm clear with your thought is in terms of that. Listening to your works over the last few months and years. Taking our place in the government and society. Prophet Noble Drew Ali says he wanted us to take our place in the affairs of man. And right now we're very disenfranchised to a certain degree. So I'd like to maybe touch on that a little bit. Unifying for maximum strength. The prophet said, where there's unity, there's strength. And also finally redefining our character, which is also a greater portion of what our struggle is at this particular point in time, in terms of our brothers and sisters in and out of the community needing to have better character. So starting with the first one, Allah and man is one. If we can walk through those just to make sure we're able to touch on everything, Brother Ish, what is your thought on?
Absolutely.
Yes,
Allah and man are definitely one. And I think that you capsulized what's the most important thing of why we're here tonight. Before the show tonight, I posted up the core reasons of why we're here. I posted it up in my forum, Amin Ra Squad African Moorish Scholarship. It reads this. It says the core teachings of Prophet Noble Drew Ali have to remain the same for integrity purposes. However, the methods and supporting of the foundation has to be updated and revised to the modern second of time in order to survive and to grow. To be stagnant reflects death. When Moors have to be industrious, and more means motion in life. So in other words, the core teachings of Noble Drew Ali, it's invaluable that the warriors and the sheiks and the body of Noble Drew Ali's teaching, that it stays the same. That's the heartbeat of what Moors need in order to know that it's firm. That's the headquarters. In other words, once you have a nice, firm foundation, nothing can come in. See, the Moors, and we really have to deal with this, because if you don't put out fires of, you see how Elijah Muhammad started merging with Scientology and how infected that got. That can't happen in the Moorish Science Temple, because it's trying. They're trying to make inroads to the Moorish Science Temple too, and I have the information on that. But in other words, the integrity.
That's powerful. That's powerful what you said.
Of course, brother.
I'd like to get to the callers real quick, and let them ask a question. So, brother, whoever on the phone, tell me where you from, what you calling from, what you do. How you doing, brother?
How you doing?
I'm doing well, brother. You have a question for the guests? Where you calling from?
Yeah, I'm calling from H-Town.
From H-Town?
Yes, sir.
All right.
I got a question for Brother Ngozi. Brother Ngozi still on?
Brother Ngozi, you know what? I just made a mistake and ejected Brother Ngozi because I didn't recognize that name that just came up.
How you going to eject the guy?
I didn't mean to. It was a mistake. I didn't recognize. It didn't say such and such Bey. I think it said Anthony something. Who is that? I didn't know who that was. That might have been him. It might not. I'm not sure. But Brother Ish here.
You listen, hey, Ngozi, if you're listening, you got to get back on and you got to come drop that science. Some of us understand what you're talking about. And Ishmael Bey, I got respect for the brother since the brother stepping out like that, keeping it real. But what I wanted to ask Ngozi is what's up with the DNA on Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, or this so-called lineage of the Hebrews, and you can say we're connected to that in the first place.
Well, if he get back on and we keep that on dial play, we can go.
Now you know this is Mr. What You Want, right?
Say what?
This is Mr. What You Want.
Yeah.
This is what you want. Yeah.
Yes, sir, my brother. Hey, I appreciate the correspondence too, my brother. And I'm gonna get back to you.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. If Ngozi gonna be back on, get him back on, man. We need that brother.
Yeah, it's gonna text him right now. I hope. All right.
All right.
Peace and love, fam.
He trying to get in. I guess he's trying to call in right now. The same number that he tried to before.
Give him my brother. Give him my cell phone number. We can try my cell phone.
Yes, sir. I'll give him your cell phone number. Yes, sir.
All right. Let me put that's Mr. What You Want. So the point of the matter is, I think personally, it's a great mistake to even consider upgrading something that we have yet to even scratch the surface on living in. I don't think we have lived in the teachings of the Prophet Noble Drew Ali to see if it really works, to even let history catch up with the teachings of the Prophet Noble Drew Ali. To even consider that, we putting ourselves at odds with our success. That's just me. That's
right.
Let me use an example of kind of what I'm saying, Brother Taharka Bey. Noble Drew Ali used a newspaper in order to spread the gospel, in order to spread the word, in order to reach the people. Is that correct?
Absolutely.
All right. And you have a platform of Moorish Science TV in order to spread the gospel and to uplift fallen humanity. Is that correct? You use technology of today. Is that right?
Absolutely.
So in doing that, you have upgraded an already established core teaching, not to alter or to change the core teaching itself, but you have used the foundation of Noble Drew Ali and used the modern technology in order to reach more people in a more effective and streamlined way. You've upgraded the teachings. Do you understand the difference?
I understand what you're saying, but nevertheless, I'm trying to perpetuate the teachings as taught exactly how Prophet Noble Drew Ali did it. The only difference is I'm in 2017 and he was in the 20s. That's the only difference. You know what I mean? The same businesses that he made, the same business I think we need to make or build. The same perspective on our unity is the same perspective we need today. The same perspective on our history is the same perspective we need. You know, Chinese people don't look like I never looked at it. I never seen another group of people like us. I'm on the face of earth. We are unique people. Those who that suffered the slave trade. We are so unique. We beyond unique. You know, every other group of people are willing to accept their history as given by their elders, but we will challenge our elders in all sense of the manner and not even try to live in the paradigm as what's the elder taught, and in this case, a prophet, and we'll try to correct the prophet and the elder. And it's okay to try to live in it in your way in 2017, but to change the doctrine, upgrade the doctrine, revise the doctrine, I think that's
this is where you're either not catching what I'm stating,
I don't
or
think
you're
that's
ignoring
what,
what I'm stating.
Yeah,
What I'm saying is that the core teachings, I'll repeat it, the core teachings of Prophet Noble Drew Ali have to remain the same.
Mm-hmm.
But that's not.
See what I'm saying? But the methodology has to be upgraded for survival. So can I say this,
Brother Ish, real quick? Why don't we try to use the DNA technology to confirm our prophet, our ancestor, as opposed to discredit?
You guys both spoke to something important right there. And if I can, Brother Ish, if you jump in, see if I can bridge the gap. This is what Ish said a few minutes ago in his last few statements, which were powerful. That he understands the foundation of Prophet Noble Drew Ali, and he's not trying to change at all. Really, I think it's a wording thing. You know, he's speaking more to advancing. And what Taharka Bey said is probably the part that scratches a little bit, if you will, Brother Ish, is that, Moors are very careful to, unless, because truth is the second principle. We have love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. So truth is supposed to match with everything that we do. So we all respect this. We submit to the actual truth, which is what it said early on. It's coming back to memory. But what scratches is where if that technology, if the science doesn't match up exactly with the prophet, Moors will ruffle up. We kind of brisk up a little bit. But that's not to say that the science won't match, And this also speaks to the faith that at some point it will align back with Prophet Noble Drew Ali said. And because we hear, kind of a conflict with the prophet saying we're coming out of Canaan, and clearly there may be a slight discrepancy as far as coming out of Africa, but that shouldn't stop us from being able to have a constructive conversation. And the brother is coming with a whole lot of respect. So I respect you, Brother Ish.
No.
And that's the whole key, Brother Cyrus. We're scientists. We're more scientists, and science is an ever-revealing entity itself. Science, it breathes, it grows. So in other words, what people thought about the earth being flat, that's debunked. Now you know that the earth is round. In other words, you go down to the deepest depths of the ocean. You go to the highest heights of the heavens and the celestial heavens, right? So you're searching. That's what science encompasses, because science is one with nature. Nature's ever revealing. So in other words, when somebody says that, okay, this is another aspect of science, this is more science, it's growing and it's changing, but it's in a positive way because it's rooted in truth. Truth is ever revealing. Prophet Noble Drew Ali passed away before his mission was complete. In other words, if he started in 1913, we'll give him 1913. If he started in 1913 to 1929, that's 16 years. So in other words, he mainly did most of his work in 1925. So from 1925 to 1929, that's 4 years. So in other words, there's still a lot to be learned as far as upgrading where we needed to go as a people. He stated that people outside the temple will come into the temple, work in conjunction in his name in order to save the Moors.
Hey, Brother Ish, that's exactly what I'm saying. I'm saying, why do we work so hard? And I say we, and I'm figuratively speaking, why do we work so hard to discredit a holy and divine prophet instead of try to toil and work hard to confirm that this prophet is a prophet? I think our energy should be pointed that way. And I'm not talking about you, Ish. I'm talking about when I hear my brother Ngozi go on his rant on Facebook. He's on the phone now. When I hear him go and he talks about the temple Moors and the Moors, these Moors don't know where they from and all of these things. We spend a lot of time to discredit a holy and divine prophet. Then we could spend the same time to confirm so we can show this European that he's wrong and that our prophet is right. We need to hold Prophet Noble Drew Ali up, whether you agree with him in part or whether you agree with them in whole. But
that's why you're both so invaluable. That's why you're so valuable, because we need you in order to hold the guard, to hold the line, to keep those core teachings. You understand? If you're coming in the prophet's name, you have to uplift the prophet's work. You have to. That has to be the core value of the foundation that you're standing upon. Once you're standing on that foundation, then you move it forward.
Absolutely. Let me get this phone call. Is you still on the line, family? Not you, brother, but on the other line. Are you there? They hung up. Y'all call back. I'll put the phone up. All right. Hold up. Let's get the caller first, and then we're going. I missed it. Okay, are you there, Ngozi?
Yeah, I'm right here.
Okay, so what was that question, Ish? Come on, Ngozi.
Hey, could you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I tried to get on the page.
Are you there, fam?
Yeah, I'm right here. Could you hear me?
Yeah, I'm listening. Go ahead, keep talking. I'm on another phone.
I tried to get on the page, but you blocked me out. I can't get on.
I made a mistake, brother. I didn't know who you was.
Okay, cool. Could people hear me?
Yeah, they can hear you.
Okay, here's the thing. I don't know how far into the conversation we are in. I wanted to talk about, I don't know how deep we in. I want to talk about genealogy part with Overdraft talked about. He did. Hello?
No, you good, my brother. I'm on another phone too. We got a question. So let's see if we can wrap it up. You know what I mean? Hit hard, knock it out the park.
Okay, Overdraft did talk about genealogy. Genealogy has to be corrected. And another thing, me being the type of who I am, because more of the description to me, I don't see Overdraft.
Can't hear clear.
He's an honorable Overdraft, just like the honorable Elijah Muhammad. So that's just me. So I'm not this new moral movement has nothing to do with Moorish Science Temple at all. This is an upgrade to dealing with real historical Moorish science and dealing with real science where it can be proven. Some things will be kept and some things will be pushed away. That's not historical. That's what their goal for Ngozi is. So that's what my purpose was. So I still haven't had anybody to correct the error about the DNA of fossils. Everything is there, is put up there. I mean, if they try to use Beta Manishi is both from a lot of stuff. She has an agenda as well. And Rick Kills never said one time that he was wrong. His stuff is that, like I said earlier, our soul DNA and haplogroups is totally different. Haplogroups make up a small percentage. And I tried to explain it earlier, but it's did. And that's all I want to say. Peace and love to the family.
Peace and love. We got a call on the phone. Come on, my brother. The floor is yours, my brother on the phone. Where you calling from?
Yeah. All right, it's me again. All right.
Oh, man. All right, go ahead, brother.
All right, you got Ngozi on, right?
Hold up, man. Let me tell him to hit me back.
Man, don't tell me you hung up on Ngozi again, man.
No, he said peace and love. He was out of here. I'm about to hit him back right there.
Hit him back right quick, man. I gotta get this. I gotta ask him this, man.
Okay, hold on, brother.
While you get those calls together, brother Talker, you may buy you a second real quick. I have a quick question for brother Ish to continue that conversation we started.
Of course, brother Cyrus. Yes, sir.
Yeah, brother Ish, while we got you on the line, I would love to hear your take, your vision on this principle of unity. I was talking about the prophet said he wanted us to unify for maximum strength, and I know, you know what I mean, this is on your heart as well, and this is in your thoughts. So can you expound on that a little bit while we got to pause, while we get brother Ngozi back on the line?
Absolutely. We do have 5 principles that we're supposed to be unifying around, which are the points of the flag. So in other words, we have to understand that as long as we're rooted in truth, unity is definitely one of the prerequisites of what's going to take place based upon bonding on those principles. You understand? If we're all pulling from the same tree and we're all pulling from the same source and we're all in the right spirit, we're supposed to be moving in a unified way, even from different paths. Our different paths are supposed to meet up at one location. And that one location should be under the umbrella of Prophet Noble Drew Ali.
Exactly. And see, my I'm trying to get Ngozi back. If he pick up, tell him call back. Ngozi, you there? Okay, my brother. Okay, we got Ngozi here. He can hear you, brother. You still on the phone? Nah, the other brother just called. Call back, caller. I don't know why my phone. Okay, stay right there, Ngozi. So Ngozi, my thing is this. I said, okay, here we go. Islam family, you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
All right, I got Ngozi right here. He can hear you. Come on, my brother.
Hey, how you doing, Ngozi? Now look, I want to ask you a question, man, because I seen an interview that you did with Joe Benjamin. And you know, when you start talking that science talk, I respect you straight off the bat. I respect you because what you're saying, you're backing up with facts. And if a person can't get what you're saying, they can always go back and look it up. I respect that. And you said you was a Moor on the interview that you did. However, you said you was a Moor because you was black. Now, you as a scientist, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, in this lineage, is there any type of DNA that suggests that these people ever existed?
No.
He said no.
All right, cool. See, that's why I respect you, because I know you're going to be real. That's all I wanted to know. That's all I wanted to ask the guy. I respect you for picking up your phone call. And if there's no DNA proof, now I'm going to let y'all know off the bat. When Ngozi talk, when he speak, he gonna back it up with facts, and if you can't catch on, because y'all trying to say the man slick talking. The man not slick talking. You can rewind it, and you can look up anything. But if it ain't no DNA proof to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, then you got to teach it.
Brother, you still stuck on that Bible stuff, brother. Brother, let that stuff go and come unite with us, and let's build a nation.
I like that. Hey, look, hold up. Before we get
This brother been stuck on this Bible talk for 3 weeks now. Man. Oh my goodness, brother. Let's see if we get
what I respect so much about the way that Brother Taharka Bey deals with the topic is Brother Taharka Bey says that whether Abraham or Isaac or Ishmael, any of them existed or not, there are principles that you can use and that you can apply that can make sure that your spiritual development is going in the right way. So whether they physically are alive or not, you still just draw from the principles of these individuals.
But you know what? This is my problem. What's your name again on the phone, my brother? Because me and you, we straight brothers now because we've been communicating for a minute.
Yeah, this is what you want. We're supposed to have a show, man.
Yeah. I got you. But look, my brother. I keep telling you that when you read the Bible, sometimes you have to go from metaphysical to literal to allegorical, jump back and forth. But the whole point of the story, brother, what can you utilize? Whatever you can do. Let me tell you something.
Listen, hold up. When the Bible starts talking about a chosen race, and God gave this chosen race power to kill the Midianites and kill the Israelites.
But then you stuck right there. You stuck right there, though, brother. What part can you utilize?
Man, listen, man.
Man, we know that European that played his hand in that book, man. So what part can you utilize?
You can't utilize none of it.
Oh my goodness, you better stop. Your grandmother gonna hit you over your head with that broom.
Man, you got to live it, man.
You better not tell grandma that. Don't you tell grandma you can't do nothing with that Bible, because she probably was sweet.
All right, I tell you what, Ty, look, I give you benefit of the doubt. How about we have a show and let's look at the scripture and see what's good to use and what's not. At least we got that.
Brother, we can do that sometime in the future, but right now I want to do more uniting shows as opposed to this show here. Like I would like to bring you on and talk about the topics you and I spoke about before, you know what I mean, and have a smooth, but I like to do more uniting shows, and like I'm about to say.
Because you already got, because it goes out.
Say it again.
On the strip thing goes, I would respect the Moors up until this point. But when you start connecting the Quran, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob as really existing, I have to lie to say I believe that because I don't know that.
No, the thing is that you need to get with a true Moor and study the true significance of these stories. And then you'll have more appreciation for them.
Man, I've been studying this for 14 years. Man,
guess what?
I want to go scripture for scripture so you can help me. If what you're saying is real, we need to go scripture for scripture so you can explain this.
But brother,
explain what you're saying you're standing on, brother.
Hey brother, I have no problem with that. But you know what? You coming with the spirit of combating, so we're not gonna get too far.
Hey, listen, when you asked me to call in, I was in the chat room.
No, I'm talking about the last 3 weeks ago. I ain't talking about today, brother. Brother, you came up there swinging that bat. Woo, woo.
I never expected Ngozi to be on the show.
That's right. Look, Ngozi, my brother. What's wrong with you?
Man, Ngozi,
I
respect the man until you can find something that he's saying that ain't real. If you can't find the man saying that's not real, you can't come at him like you slick talking.
Hey, brother.
We need that.
Hey, brother. A lot of the stuff that people attribute to Egypt, they can't find it. We find some, but not all of it, brother.
We don't attribute nothing to Egypt. All Egypt do is show when we was at our
brother, you don't have bodies for everything, brother. Come on, cut that out, brother. Cut that out.
You want to say we can find some messages out of a Bible that's lying to us, but then you say we can't learn nothing from the creativity and give it what we
No, we can learn from all things. What is wrong with you? That's not what I'm saying. You're so divisive, brother. Stop being so divisive. I'm not saying that. Hey, brother, we're going to get another caller. Hey, brother, I got your information. We're going to talk, my brother, and we're going to get another show. But I'm just saying, brother, I wish you was in Baltimore, because I'll sit the camera up and me and you go toe-to-toe.
I'll be there sooner or later, brother.
Peace and love, family. I appreciate you. One love. All right, peace and love. And go.
Before your next call come up, before your next call, brother Tarka, I can't thank you enough for creating a proper platform where Moors, even from different paths, have an avenue that they can come and that they can build. This is a sign of unity. Your show, Moorish World TV, and your spirit,
that's right,
is a sign of unity. For me to be able to build with you and brother Cyrus L and brother Sharif Bey, that's unity, because the people are understanding that even from the different paths, like the brother calling in, he's saying he did not expect Ngozi to be on, but Ngozi has been on your show before because you have created a platform that is inviting for Moors to come and to build. It's like being the lake in Africa. All of the animals can go to the lake and they can get their fill and it's peaceful. And then after they leave the lake, then the lion jumps back on the gazelle again. But when they're at the lake, it's all about peace. And that's what you offer, brother. Yeah. We thank you for that.
Hey, brother, and I appreciate you. And Ngozi, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here, brother.
And I want to say this, brother. If I come off offensive, if I come off as half crazy sometimes, I don't mean to. You are my brother and I love you. I love my brother Ish. I love my brother Cyrus, brother Sharif, all the same. There is no difference. I see somebody in the chat say that brother act like Sinetta. Well, I may be passionate like Sinetta, but I'm not Sinetta. One thing I'm never going to do is throw my brothers under the bus. And if that's a shot fired, that's a shot fired. I will never, ever throw my brothers under the bus. I will stand toe-to-toe, back-to-back, and we will fight this fight together, whether we agree idealistically or not. We will fight this fight together. Period, point blank.
Islam.
Listen, I agree, brother. I mean, I play sports, man. I don't take it personally. It's all good, man.
That's a beautiful thing. That's a beautiful thing. Who on the line? Who I'm speaking with?
Hey, what's up, brother? Peace.
Peace, my brother. Talk to me, brother. We've been going long, brother. So let's get it in, bro. Talk to me real quick so we can wrap it up.
Okay, brother. I just like to say peace and blessings to everyone that's on the show and to everyone that's listening. No matter how emotionally invested we are into certain things, we have to understand that times change, people change, situations change. The Prophet brought the teachings at a particular time in America where it was mandatory and necessary for the people to understand in the manner that he brought it. But we're in a totally different time frame. Like, I think earlier you said something about the Chinese, developing. Well, we also have to understand that at one particular time, the Chinese were almost primitive in a sense, but now they have one of the most powerful militaries and governments, and it's really hard for other countries to cross the Chinese, but we're still being crossed as a people. We're still being tormented as a people with the same teachings that we had 100 years ago.
But no, brother, hey, brother, let me chime in on that. The Prophet Overdue Ali teaches that we suffer slavery by not following the principles that laid down by our foreparents. And so when you look at the Chinese, they got a Genghis Khan to look up to. When you look at the Chinese, they got a Confucius to look up to. When you look at the Chinese, they got a vast history that they hold on to. When you look at a Chinese house, you know they Chinese. You know what I'm saying? So yes, they build and advance their society, but the foundation in which they stand on is ancient. Those ancient landmarks are not moved. And we need to find and attach ourselves to our ancient landmarks and we'll be okay.
Okay, brother, I understand that, but we can't attach ourselves to an ancient landmark if we are neglecting science, if we are neglecting ancient history. These brothers are trying to put you on a particular format that you may not be familiar with.
Okay, no, I'm very familiar with it, brother. I'm very familiar with it. I follow it in the sense where as though I'm not making it my religion, but I follow it in the sense that I comprehend what's going on. And I found the origin of those who developed this science here in the Western Hemisphere. And I know why they developed this science. As my brother Cyrus Hill was alluding to, that there's a crack in the door when somebody want to change your ancient landmark. In other words, he didn't say it in those words, but there's a crack in the door when you can look at a prophet's teaching and you can say, well, oh, no, I'm going to go with this over here, and you can go with that over there, but there's no need to revise or upgrade the prophet's teaching. They writing exact.
The prophet's teachings have been around for a long time. It's time for us as a people.
100 years ain't no long time. Where you been at?
Brother, it's important for us to look at things in a different way.
That's cool. You need to be Ishmael and them disciple.
Prophet Noble Jew Ali said it might be 50 years before you know what he brought, what I brought you.
That's fine. Hey, brother, I don't mean to cut your wisdom. Come on, brother. My apology. Come on, brother. No, the brother on the phone. Come on, brother. My apology.
The only point that I'm making is this. Us as so-called black people or Moors in this country should not be limited in the information that we research or that we receive. We should have an open mind, and we should evaluate things not only based upon what the prophet taught us 80 years ago, but also based upon what we are going through today.
Hey, brother.
Look at things in a different aspect. We can't fall back because we are emotionally attached to things that are in the past. I'm not saying that the prophet's teachings altogether should be neglected, but we are neglecting our common sense and not addressing.
Brother, can I ask you? Let me ask you this, my brother. I want you to understand where I'm coming from real quick. If I say that I have confidence that what the Prophet Noble Drew Ali has brought is right and exact, but the only problem is the misunderstanding when it comes to putting it in its proper perspective for some people. Meaning that if you are familiar with DNA, if you are familiar with historical archaeological finds, if you are familiar with all of these things, then the only problem you have is putting the pieces to the puzzle correctly, because Prophet Noble Drew Ali needs to be confirmed and not denied. That's where I stand.
That's right.
I believe it can be confirmed. I got confidence it can be confirmed. So I'm telling a person like Ngozi with this deep research, work towards confirmation as opposed to divisiveness and upgrading things. I'm telling you that you can confirm it. Why don't we believe in our people? We can confirm it.
I want to try to address the brother also, if I may.
Let Ngozi real quick, and then you, Ish. Come on, Ngozi.
Oh, yes, sir.
A whole lot of stuff. The human genome wasn't even mapped out at this time. Even Darwin didn't have an idea of clue of genetics. So I want to say is this.
It's low, Tahaka.
We have a lineage. We do have a lineage that we can look back to. We have ancient Mali, Timbuktu, the Mendip Empire. That's what you are. You have ancient Ghana, then Czechia.
Brother.
You have the Benin Empire. We know for a fact, and I can prove this scientifically. Arun III, which is Ramesses III, he had the same paternal lineage as you. And he was responsible for beating the Hittites and the Sea people and made them look bad before they slit his throat. So we can link back to Kemet, we can link back to Sub-Saharan countries, and we can also link back to the Tarim or the Alphabet Empire that developed around Bar, Niger, and Senegal.
Brother, that sound all good, brother. See, we start to drag on the conversation again. What I'm saying is, why don't we have confidence in our people and work towards confirmation as opposed to discrediting? That's a sign. That's a prophets say we suffer from the delusions of the principles from the delusion of slave that delude the slavery. Those are those principles where we want to discredit our leaders. You can't upgrade no prophet. Period. You can't upgrade no prophet. That's how as it go. That's how as it go.
Brother Tarka, can I address something, please?
You can't upgrade no prophet.
It's your sincere love for the prophet that I think is causing a bit of a blind spot. I humbly say. I said a blind spot. What it is this.
I don't have a blind spot. Not one blind spot. I know this thing is real time, brother.
I understand, brother. So my point is this. It's a very delicate dance.
Come with some, brother. Next time we do a show, I want you to be prepared and put your screenshots on, and don't be no European coming out no Google search with no Wikipedia. Come with some serious stuff. That the last time. Oh man, now you call my Torah. Y'all good talkers. Y'all smooth talkers. That's what I can say. Y'all smooth talkers. Y'all ain't come with no evidence yet. Just some smooth talkers. Y'all some smooth talkers.
Brother Tarka, I love you, brother. You trying hard, boy.
I'm telling you, Brother Ishmael Bey, he's a salesman, y'all. I'm telling you, he talks to them people, man, and that's why he can put that smooth tone on, that little Barry White tone on you. And then this brother is a professor. He's used to talk. He needs to be a college professor in Ngozi. See, we need them and more science so we can build our communities. You know what I mean? We don't need to change nothing. We don't need to change nothing. We need y'all to change our viewpoint and support the teachers of the prophet. There don't need to be no upgrade. They need to be confirmed. And you guys have the intelligence to confirm them.
Brother Tarka,
you guys have the intelligence to confirm them. But now, the principles that delude the slavery, makes us go against our better judgment and say, no, this is better than that, because that was 1920 and technology has changed and this is better. Come on, man, stop playing. Y'all smooth talkers, man.
Maybe, Brother Tarka, you simply don't believe me when I state that knowledge is an ever-revealing thing. No man knows everything. Everybody grows. Everyone is a teacher of someone else, and everyone is a student of everyone else. Being and becoming is an hold on, brother. Let me just speak a little bit. Being and becoming is an African principle. Being and becoming. So, in other words, if Noble Drew Ali, when he arrived in Chicago in 1925, that was a very pivotal point, because from 1925 to 1929, when he was killed, that was only 4 years. He was killed before he completed his entire mission.
God, the work is done. What are you talking about?
No, sir. No, sir. His life of not even being 50 years old, he had much more things to teach. Listen, brother. Brother, let me speak also. Brother. I'm saying that him being less than 50 years old, he did a beautiful job. He created scientists, and scientists are supposed to be engulfed in science, this ever-revealing science, and advancing it in his name. Everyone is not going to come inside of the temple. People are going to come from outside of the temple, work in a very delicate dance in this. We need a synergy together. We need to understand that people within the temple and those outside the temple have to unify in order to say, you know what, this is what the prophet brought to us. He did not only come to people within the temple, brother. He came to teach a body of knowledge to Moors in America. And these Moors are supposed to unify so that we can uplift fallen humanity in his name. That's what he wants done. But he did not have all of the answers in only 4 years of work.
I agree with you until you say that his job is not completed. When the time is appointed, man, when you believe in divine things, when the time is appointed, what's done is done. It is finished. It is what it is.
That is emphatically now.
One of the things.
How we believe, though. You don't believe, you don't have faith in what we have faith in. We have faith in that he has finished his task right and exact, on time, not before, not later. And now we got to build this nation.
If I could be a liaison again, I think one of the problems, brother Ish, With
Of course, Brother Cyrus. Yes, sir.
The way that Brother Ngozi is bringing the information, I think it may be a little fast. I think it may be a lot of volume of information, and there are a lot of little details that Moors will, like I have problems with, but we would need to slow down. This is what Tahaka saying. We need to slow down, expand on it, and have a discussion about things like I'm hearing a little bit of the Hamitic hypothesis inside of this in terms of North and South Africa. The discussions about the Berbers and the identity of the Berbers or Arabs mixing with Neanderthals. I've heard somewhere else before. All those things, it's like, whoa, slow it down. And the combination of that, without, again, I'm big on understanding the authority, like who, what move, what authority are you coming behind with those things that kind of seem to, and this speaks to what you're saying. They seem to clash a little bit with what Prophet Noble Drew Ali gave to us. This is where I think this is too much information. It's not as a matter of it being too fast or too slick. We can't grasp the general, the thought. I think it's maybe too much information, and we're going a little too fast, and Moors are not comfortable with some of the things that are being sped by. If that is helpful.
And then go.
It is. I think that's very helpful. And in following your suggestion, as well as Brother Taharka's suggestion, it should always be done with someone creating their own platform as opposed to interfering with the integrity of the way that a temple has to operate. Do not spend your time banging on the temple. These are some of the most loving people, and some of these are second and third generation Moorish Americans. They love Noble Drew Ali. They love humanity. The integrity of their faith is something that is supposed to be respected and sacred. So you're not supposed to spend time banging on your fellow Moorish American. You can correct and you can have a position on something, but not at the expense of attacking an already established organization. So we outside the temple have to learn better methodology of how we address even the Noble Drew Ali topic or the Moorish science topic, because it comes across as Moors attacking Moors, and that's counterproductive. And that's not ultimately what we're supposed to be focused on. We're supposed to be focused on reaching all of our people, not attacking one another.
That's
so
right.
If you notice, the spirit will come, and the spirit will be the thing that's supposed to unify us and not have us attacking one another.
My thing is this. My thing, real quick, yeah, you got it in, Ngozi, 1 second. My thing is this, especially if you have a Bey on your name, Ishamel Bey, Ngozi got a Bey on his name, it automatically implies that you support the Prophet Noble Drew Ali, whether you know something deep or not. But to the unsuspecting public, you walking around with a Bey on your name and you saying, I don't see the Prophet Noble Drew Ali as a prophet, I honor him, cease playing your affairs. You know what I mean? Turn in your car, turn in your button. You know what I mean? And then create a paradigm that will lead our people to the promised land. Because it tends to say to people that, how is he going to say he don't respect that? But we understand the origin of the Bey. But for the unsuspecting public, why would you carry a Bey on your name if you don't even believe the teachings of the prophet as which the prophet laid down in full? I don't get that.
Can I ask you a question?
One moment, caller. Yes, come on, real quick, my brother.
Noble Drew Ali is my family. I'm from Chicago, and most of the people up here Moors. You got the Black P-Stones, they Moors, the Vice Lords Moors, the Folk on Hustlers Moors. This is part of Chicago history. So every Moor, even the nation of Islam is a fragmentation of Noble Drew Ali teaching. So for me, he's a foundation. And that term Bey predates. Let me just say this.
I said that, brother. I said that.
Let me just say, I just want to finish this. And when you said something about prophets championship, the original Torah today has been upgraded from the original Torah that was found in 700 BC. The book of Deuteronomy was fragmented. They put that stuff together. It's been translated over and over again, telling us what prophets said. Even the Holy Quran of Mecca, peace be upon Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. But to be honest with you, that was man-made. The scriptures of the Quran was being put together during the time of the Mohammedan.
But brother,
history.
You should go by Ngozi. Brother, you should just go by Ngozi Cameroon something, brother, because you're not making, you're saying all of this stuff, but you identifying yourself with a marker that will connect you to something that you don't agree with. But let me get a caller real quick. No, I'm saying for the unsuspecting public. We know Bey predates, but I'm talking about the unsuspecting public. You know what I mean? Represent who you what you really stand for. Call yourself E1B1. I'm joking. That was a joke.
Doctor, you
Who that?
funny, yo.
I was gonna call in after the food, but you know, I'm gonna be respectful to
Please, yeah, please be respectful, brother, because I get worked up, but I'm not being disrespectful. I love the family, brother.
much respect. But this is Hero from Team Osiris. And I just want to say that tonight's show seems like it was a planned setup to go against Ngozi because of he asked the question, should the information be updated? Now, I ain't going to try to cause no ruckus, but I'm going to say this. The Moors look weak tonight because it looked like you're trying to defend yourself against Ngozi instead of unifying, right? And the information that you're coming with tonight, you're challenging his scientific perspective, and yet the Moors have not proven anything in their whole existence.
Hey, brother, you supposed to say that. You Team Osiris. What else you supposed to say? Moors don't look weak. That's a weak attempt. That's a weak attempt on your part, brother.
The Moors have done nothing in their whole existence.
But we gonna start though, brother. We gonna start. How about that? Won't you join me and start something? We gonna start. How about that? That's why Moorish World TV here, because we gonna start.
You ain't got nothing already.
Okay, well, I'm working on it, brother. Come work with me.
Work on it. Work on it, and while you're working on it, stop trying to disprove or against scientific information.
Brother, you supposed to go with Ngozi. Brother, you Team Osiris. Big up the Team Osiris. Big up the Team Osiris. But guess what? He ain't proved nothing either. He came with a whole bunch of smooth talking. He came up with a whole bunch of smooth talking.
Y'all can get their work. The Moors, anybody can get the work anytime. It's an open.
Brother.
Real talk.
All right, brother, we ready when you ready. But let's just do it. Let's do it civilly. Brother, see, there you go again. That's that principle that deludes to slavery. You're gonna give a European the credit. Go ahead and give the European the credit again. Go ahead, brother. Show your colors. Show your colors. Give the European the credit. Go ahead. Give him the credit. When the Prophet Noble Drew Ali always say where it come from, give him the credit. Yeah, give him the credit. That shows how your scholarship has developed. I hope. Oh my goodness, brother. Oh my goodness, brother. Brother, you gonna give the European credit over your brother? Huh? You gonna give the European credit over your brother? European became your God. White mean God. God mean ruler of the land. Are you for real? Come on, man. Come on, man. You sound crazy, brother. I love you, brother, but you off the mark. He got to go with that one. He missed the mark. He gonna give the European credit over what Prophet Noble Drew Ali say. Stop playing with me. Ngozi, what's up, my brother? You there?
Yeah, I'm right here. Can't say that we're giving Europeans credit because the European would not know how to deal with scientific methodology if it wasn't the Africans giving it to us.
That's my point. He just gave the European credit.
But we're not mimicking them.
No. Listen to what I'm saying. He said, no, Ngozi. He said that Prophet Noble Drew Ali plagiarized the book from Levi. Now listen, before you say something, hold up, Ngozi. Before you say something, that's what he said. His research is flawed. Prophet Noble Drew Ali give you a hint and said that the reason why these lessons wasn't known. So there is a source before Levi. He just haven't found it yet. I got the source. Why don't he have it? So he giving that European credit because guess what? He suffered from the principles that delude to slavery.
No, here's the thing though. Listen to what the brother Rule said. Prophet Noble Drew Ali said he did. I mean, I forgot the saying that he said, but anyway.
Oh man, come on! Don't speak on it if you forgot it. He did not, brother. Where did the Aquarium Gospel get it from? Where did Levi get it from? Man, Aquarium Gospel, brother. It's so. Let me tell you something, Ngozi, and then we're gonna wrap up. Ngozi, there are sources before them Europeans stole it. Look for it. That's what I'm telling you. Look for it. Brother, look for it. Man, y'all suffer from mental slavery, brother. Then y'all just proved it. Brother, y'all just proved it. Y'all keep giving these European credit. Look for the sources before the Europeans. It comes back to us. Brother, the Aquarium Gospel ain't no source. Oh my good brother, take that, brother. See when you take that Bey off your name. Stop playing. Stop. You don't even know what Asiatic is. Apparently, you don't even know what Asiatic is. Hold up. Who's that? Hold on, it goes. Man, we gotta wrap this up soon. Hey, brother, tell your brother and Ruth stop being so emotional, brother. I just get pumped up. I'm not emotional. Who is this on the phone?
Oh, this ain't no time again.
Oh my goodness. Hey, hold up. Hey, brother Ngozi. Yeah, make sure Hero, brother, Hero. No, ain't no hard feelings, brother. It's all good. Let him know. I heard his feelings. I heard his feelings. All right, brother Negro Science, talk to me, brother.
Okay, no, I was just wondering when they were saying that Moors got their stuff from Jesus and Aqua Kenya and all that stuff. That came from us, the Moors, and I was wondering, are there two different types of Moors, like the Moors that are from over here, and then the Moors that are from Africa?
Brother, the Moors, the Prophet Noble Drew Ali instructs us that we are descendant of. A descendant of. That's what he teaches us. That's what we can trace ourselves to. We are a new people today, brother. We are not the same people. So I don't know where they come off trying to make us the same people of yes. We are descendant of. The key word.
Now, this is all I'm asking again. Yes, you're right. That's a beautiful, I've never I was just wondering, are there people that are not a part of the slave trade? We can say we have no history or recollection of that.
Brother, the thing is, in truth, every person may not be a bloodline Moor. That ain't what the Prophet Noble Drew Ali said. And you have to talk to a Moor to understand it's a national identity. Nationality.
Yes, I'm understanding all of that. I'm just understanding because I don't want to go out here and say something and accidentally say something wrong. Are there certain groups of Moors that are not claiming anything?
Ngozi.
That they're from here.
Ngozi. Ngozi.
I'm right here.
To answer your question, brother, yes, there are different lineages of Moors. To be a Moor means that you are a descendant of, and descendant means that your parents are Moors. You are what your mother and fathers were without doubt or contradiction. So you descend from a birth line.
I love you for that. Brother. It goes. Brother, can we do this one more time, man, in the future, man? I really enjoyed this, man. But I really enjoyed it because we didn't get to the flag. We didn't get to nothing, brother. We just got on. I did. My bad. Come on, brother.
Okay, you just got to the flag. Oh, thank you. Oh, good, thank you. Now, when you say the Moorish flag,
right?
That's what I'm getting at. I want to represent the flag, but the flag has to come from somewhere.
Right?
That flag is a new flag, so that flag was created in 1915. That Moroccan flag is not 10,000 years old, bro. That's not your flag either. We're not Moorish. We're Moorish from Senegal.
You see?
Mali. Now, I want to ask my question. Now, in 19...
Wow.
Hold up.
What was that?
Cyrus, you're going to touch that in a minute because this is going to be the last one and the last caller. Come on, my brother. Negro Science.
In 1776 or in 1778, that's when the Peace and Treaty Friendship of Morocco was made in America when it's called We Lost the War. Now, they're trying to put that with the Morocco state that was made in 1912 in North Africa. That's all I'm going to do. Which one?
What about that? The peace and treaty that was between Morocco and not the Moors here in America. Those are two different things. But Moors do recognize that document, the peace and treaty demonstration. But that was in reference to the Moroccans, not the so-called the Moroccans, but not necessarily the Moors right here. But Moors do try to use that. But I know that was in reference to Morocco.
Okay, so I'm not wrong to say that I'm the brother of the Moorish empire in Africa, but we're together and I'm from over here.
No, the thing is that during that time there was Moors here, and Moors did use that document to I guess to avoid persecution and things of that nature, but it was reference to more Moroccan nationals more so than how we see Moorish Americans today. If you follow what I'm saying.
I'm sorry.
You know what I mean? Okay, so Morocco is a country, right?
The one over in Africa.
Morocco is a country. You follow me?
Yeah.
So that agreement was between the United States and the country of Morocco. You follow me?
Yeah.
So the Moors that the Prophet Noble Ali said that we are descendants of Moroccans and born in America, the Moors during those times and even these times tried to utilize that doctrine, that document rather, or that agreement to further their cause. But that was really associated with the government of Morocco and the government of the United States. And sometimes it worked, sometimes it didn't. It is what it is.
There you go. It is what it is.
It is what it is. You know what I mean? I don't try to clean nothing up. I just tell it how it is. It is what it is.
I'll give you real. It is what it is.
It is what it is.
Thank you, bro.
No problem. I appreciate you too, bro. Brother Cyrus Hill.
Yeah, I was just gonna speak to the flag, the comment that was made by brother Ngozi about the flag. I think that kind of, again, I was talking about things that make more shudder right off the gate. You know what I mean? If you say that that's not our flag, the 50,000-year-old flag with the the mother of all flags, if you will, and you throw it out like that, I mean, without very thoroughly expounding on, again, even your authority to say so and your research where that comes from, this is what we kind of sensed. And I think it made the conversation a little difficult tonight. I think it's a blanket statement and it's inaccurate, and warrants more discussion.
And because I think what happens is Brother Cyrus Hill and a lot of people, what they do is they read the documents of the Prophet Noble Drew Ali for face value and not try to peek behind the veil and see what they really mean.
Right.
Because truly the Prophet Noble Drew Ali know the difference between a Moroccan flag and a Moorish flag. Truly he do. But why would he go in? Why would he be so bold to say that? No, let me finish. Let me say something to you. No, it don't. Brother, you have to upgrade your intuition to try to seek out why did the prophet say that. There's a reason that he said that. But you don't care about that. You need to see your God. You don't care about why. Surely, do you think the prophet was of less intelligence where he said, okay, I'm just going to take this and say it's 10,000 years old? Or did he have a deeper meaning behind that? There was a deeper meaning, and you have yet to discover that, so you discredit it, and now you need to see a rag flying on a pole to say 10,000 years old. But that's you. That's your small way of thinking, brother. That's a small way of thinking.
Before we all go, those people in that part of Africa were sellouts and losers. And they had a lot to do with giving a lot of our ancestors away from sellouts.
I know that now you need to go join House of Consciousness with that one. You need to go. I know, but you're not from there.
I'm just being honest with you.
Are you from there? Are your great grandmother from that region? Because I think you just said they was from there, right? Yeah, you won't put yourself with those that contribute to the atrocities. You won't do that. You won't put them there. You got to put yourself with the good Africans. That's those principles that lose the slavery. Brother, those are those principles that delude the slavery. You have found a way to put yourself with the quote-unquote good Africans, while the other Africans they enslaved other Africans. You see how crazy that is? You're the good African. Brother, you said the people in that region. Brother, you demonized the whole region. You demonized the whole region. Brother, you demonized the whole, everything you said, I done heard you say 5 times. And these people are impressed with it. Well, I ain't impressed. I know.
Another thing
I'd like to clarify something, if I may.
Go ahead, brother, man.
Within the book, the Holy Quran,
Yes.
it's part of it that's metaphysical and part of it that's symbolic. So in other words, you know, once you do kind of either go through being an adept or even just going deeper into looking at the scripture itself, you start to realize the symbolisms that's within it, and it's put in a catechism form. It's put in those who do deal with parts of masonry or just deeper science. Sure. So by it being put into the catechism form, then it's saying that as you go deeper into the knowledge, you'll find out exactly what it's signifying. Example, if we were looking at, they just put out the new emblem of the Los Angeles Rams, and they saw it as the LA. Somebody else who's not in depth will look at them and call them the Laws. And then they'll say, well, these Laws also play baseball. So now somebody's looking at the Laws baseball, and somebody else is looking at the Laws football, not understanding that LA means Los Angeles. When you see something that's saying 10,000 or 50,000, it is not saying that it's that particular item. It's a symbolism that's dealing with it. And once you become an adept and you become engulfed with the circumcision of the spirit, we'll be happy to share with you exactly what that means.
Like well put, Ishmael Bey. Well put.
Ishmael Bey know about the original Moroccan flag with the 6-point star.
But the point of, brother, what I'm saying is, brother, you didn't hear nothing Ishmael Bey say, did you? Brother, this thing is put down in degrees, brother. But we'll talk about that another time. Anyway, we got a caller. Who is this on the phone? Last call. I done hung up on the caller, messing with y'all. Anyway, family, man, we've been going on too long, man. It's time to get up out of here, family. Man, this is a beautiful conversation. And brother Ngozi.
Yes, sir, brother. Yes, sir.
If I've offended you in any way, you know I apologize, right?
Hey, it's all love, brother. We know what's what and what's not, brother. It's all love. I don't take it personal.
All right, good, my brother. I appreciate you. Ish.
Yes, sir, brother.
You know, if I offended you in any way, I apologize, right? Because that's not
brother,
my intent.
Yeah, brother. It ain't never offended, brother. I love you too much, man.
Man,
Stop.
praise the Lord. So let's walk out here, brother. Brother Cyrus.
Islam, brother Talker Bey.
If I cut you off and offended you, you know I love you, right? I apologize, right?
Islam, love is love, definitely as well. For brother Ishmael and brother Ngozi, you didn't offend me at all, brother. None of the Moors offended me. Praise Allah.
Brother Cyrus, I thank you for being a teacher, brother. I thank you for taking the time. I really do appreciate it.
Likewise, brother Ish, as well, for years. I extend the same honors.
Exactly, bro. I appreciate y'all, brother. We go sign up on that. No, we're gonna leave it right there. We're gonna leave it right there. And we gonna brother Ngozi, we're gonna leave it right there till the next time. You ain't let me finish.
Yes, sir, brother.
Yeah, we're gonna do this again, brother, because I can enjoy having a passionate conversation with brothers that don't cuss me out.
Definitely, most definitely.
Because I'm a passionate brother. You know what I mean?
Hey, but I wanted to say this before you go in. Just one thing, bro. One thing.
Come on with it.
That 60 minutes that you're using was trying to destroy Rick Kittles. And I mean, I know you don't have evil intention. No, let me just say this, more. I just want to say, I know you don't have evil intention, but what those people were trying to do, that's what we brought up on your show. It was trying to make him look bad.
But you notice, real quick, you notice I only used what Rick Kittles said.
Yeah, but this is what I'm saying, though, more.
I was quoting Rick Kittles. I didn't quote the European. I quoted Rick Kittles.
No, this is what I'm saying. Rick Kittles never proved himself to be wrong. They tried to make it seem like that. He never did. Like I was trying to explain what happened. I just listened to the show, and you'll see what I was saying. He agreed with the process, but what they were trying to do is get him caught up in some bullshit. That's what they were trying to do. That's all I'm saying, boy.
Yeah. But I was only quoting Rick Kittles. That's it. I didn't quote no European. I said word for word what he said. That's it.
It was Brother Tarka. It was a cut and paste job. They tried to ambush Rick, and it didn't work because they understand his work as far as African ancestry. But we can follow up on that on the show. But it was a failed ambush session of the white man against Rick Kittles.
The only thing I said that Rick Kittles said is that he agreed that he agreed with him.
But let me ask you this, Parker. Did you hear that? Did you hear that video? They said that the mighty conjure DNA goes unchanged. You heard that, right? That's
Yeah, I heard that.
And that's what we were talking about. Haplogroups goes unchanged.
Hey.
We were talking about autosomal. That's what I'm trying to tell you.
But from this point on, your name is Ngozi E1B1. You ain't know it. Your name ain't got. Well, I'm taking that Bey off your name. That's it.
No, he's stupid.
No, peace and love, family. Any closing remarks, brother? Just give some love thoughts to the family that's listening, brother. They stuck with us for a whole 2.5 hours.
Peace and love.
3.5.
I thank you for letting me come on the show and Bill. I thank brother Ish, my brother Ish, and everybody on the panel, the other Moorish brother that I just met. I'm thankful, and I'm just gonna say this: that new Moor movement coming. I want y'all to know that. So peace and love to the family. So on.
Peace and love, brother Ish. Speak some love thought. He's still talking about some new Moorish movement. The movement is already here, brother.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I'll tell you, man, brother Ngozi is a brilliant, brilliant mind, brother. I mean, the spirit that you, brother Cyrus L, brother Sharif Bey, you, brother Taharka Bey, and your listening audience, you know, it is definitely in the right way. You know, for us to engage, it's supposed to be lively. It's supposed to be a little bit of, we're all warriors, so we're supposed to get it on and mix it up a little bit. And at the end, you're supposed to be able to unify and understand what the ultimate goal is. And that's exactly what was achieved tonight. We went through all of that. We all clashed. We all got into, the scimitars clashed, and then we all came back in the right spirit at the right time for the right message. And that means that we're following the right prophet. And that's going to be ultimately what's going to lead us up out of here, brother.
That's
Peace
right.
and love.
Absolutely. How about you, my brother Cyrus L?
Islam, brother Taharka Bey. I like to camel walk with what brother Ishmael just now said. I concur completely with that thought, and I extend honors to him, the whole Amin Ra squad. I extend honors to my brother Ngozi. You know, definitely is good to meet and get to know brother Ngozi's teaching and his aspect, and I respect his spirit. I just wanted to end with this thought, you know, the thought of unity, and with, to continue with what Brother Ishmael said, you know what I mean, in terms of chapter 26 talks about, how we communicate to each other, you know, regardless of where we are on a particular perspective, and we communicate to reach a unison. This is chapter 25 from the Holy Quran. It's going to be my last words. I'm going to read that directly into the record to bring us home. The chapter is entitled The Holy Covenant of the Asiatic Nation, and it reads, "Ye are the children of one father, provided for by his care, and the breast of one mother have given you suck. Let the bonds of affection, therefore, unite thee with thy brothers, that peace and happiness may dwell in thy father's house. And when ye separate in the world, remember the relation that bindeth you to love and unity, and prefer not a stranger before thy own blood. If thy brother is in adversity, assist him. If thy sister is in trouble, forsake her not. So shall the fortunes of thy father contribute to the support of his whole race, and his care be continued to you all, and your love to each other." Islam. Thank you, Brother Taharka Bey, for having us on. And with that, I say peace.
Peace and love. Family, I want y'all to know that I just get worked up sometimes. Family, I'm working on myself. You know, we studying self. I'm still working on myself. I cut people off sometimes, and I gave the disclaimer before the show that I might cut my brothers off. I might get worked up. I understand how this works sometimes with me. I've been studying self for a long time. So, brother, this all love. Sisters, it's all love. It's all love. We believe and have faith and have confidence in what we believe. And this was a show that before we came on, we knew that there was going to be some head button. But it's okay. It's okay. Because at the end of the day, we are all brothers. We are all families. And we're trying to figure this thing out. That's all we're trying to do. We're trying to figure this thing out. As my brother Cyrus L just said, you know, we are the children of one father. The breast of one mother is giving you suck. You know what I'm saying? We are all from the same source. Whether we choose to acknowledge that source in unison or not, we know that we are from the same source. When Ngozi talk about DNA, he not only talking about himself, he's talking about me too. So he's uniting us through his research. When we, the Moorish American Muslim, talk about we are descended from the northwestern shores of Africa, we're not only talking about ourselves, we're talking about Ngozi too. So we all seeing us as one people. Now, getting to that ideal in unison intellectually, mentally, and socially, we got work to do. And we're willing to work on it. That's why we can depart in love, because we came in peace. Even though the Harker Bay Hooper Holler. Y'all don't take my Hooper Holler the wrong way. All right? Thanks a lot. I appreciate y'all, and I see y'all next time. And I hope y'all enjoyed the presentation. I hope y'all learned something. I hope y'all go and research, go back and grab some of the information and use it to benefit you, whether it be Moorish information or whether it be the scientific information that's provided by Brother Ish or Brother Ngozi. With that, I said peace and love, family. Islam, and we up out of here.
Peace.
Peace.